Seltzer Kings
podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Me, by myself all the time. And looking at you, everything you have. And I don't know, jealous. And then there I am. Everybody's looking to me, trusting me to lead them, and I've never felt so alone in my entire life.
Yeah.
And that's you, every day, isn't it?
I love my friends. I'm very grateful for them. But that's the price. Being a Slayer.
There's only supposed to be one. Maybe that's why you and I can never get along. We're not supposed to exist together.
Also, you and Evelyn were killing people.
Good point. Also a factor.
But you're right. I mean, I guess everyone's alone. But being a Slayer, there's a burden we can't share.
And no one else can feel it. Thank God we're hot chicks with superpowers.
Takes the edge off.
Comforting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just 2 boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
And today we're talking about Season 7, Episode 21, titled End of Days, directed by Marita Grabiak, written by Douglas Petrie, and for the last time, Vance, Jane Espenson. Original air date, May 13th, 2003, to an audience of 4.06 million people. And before we get into the episode, we got a couple of shout outs. We got a Spotify shout out for Natalia. Thank you so much for your 5-star Spotify rating. Really appreciate that. We also have a couple of Apple Podcasts, podcast shout outs. We've got Gold Dust 3681. Love the podcast, love the boys, laughed so many times while driving. Thank you so much for your Apple Podcast review and rating. And we also have one for Sheep Squatch 13. It's like watching the show with my ranty friends. They are Team Zuffy, as in Xander and Buffy. That is controversial. You just lost a lot of people in your favor, probably, but I'm with you. So thank you so much, Sheep Squatch. We really appreciate the 5-star rating and review. If you want to get your own shout out, you've got one opportunity left for Buffy. Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review. Spotify 5-star rating. Take a screenshot of it. Send it in to us by any means possible.
And I just want to add that Gold Dust 3681 is also sorta sad mushroom on Discord. They're not that active, but go poke them. Make them speak up.
Yeah, join Discord, poke that person, and get in on the lively conversations that take place there. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, where we do Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, Joe's Fashion Report /Corner, and that's about it for the Patreon. How you doing, Vance?
I'm good. I do want to make an announcement that as usual, we will be doing our season 7 listener poll after this season is over. And this will get shared on our Instagram page at Boys Watching Buffy and on Discord probably before next week's episode is released. It will be in the show notes of next week's episode, so you will have some time. But if you want to prepare your top 3 favorite episodes, your least favorite episodes, your favorite villains, what else do we normally put on that thing? Favorite podcast moments?
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a while.
Some random questions. It's been 1 season, like we always.
Yeah. It's been a while, Vance. It's like half a year.
Yeah, and this time it won't be any Q&A. The Q&A will be a separate poll that we send out.
Full length podcast.
Yeah, whole podcast on the Q&A. So, and there will be some time between that bonus episode and then. So you'll have time to get your questions in, everybody. You'll have time.
Don't shit your pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Coming to the end, the penultimate episode, Vance.
Yeah.
Getting emotional?
I did have a pre-show thought, and I wrote this down. I don't even know if it's worth sharing because I'll probably bring it up a couple times during the episode, but what are they doing to Buffy?
Dude. Right. Dude. I don't know what our predictions were, but I am sure that I didn't predict anything that happened in this episode correctly. Actually, I remember mine. Mine was that Faith dies.
Okay. Here are the predictions. Your prediction was Caleb says it's the end of days.
Oh, man. He fucking big swing and a miss on that one.
Yeah. Someone says the end of days, don't they? Someone said days are the end.
I don't think so.
There was something. No, I think that might have been a different show that we watch. And you predicted that Faith dies and a potential becomes a Slayer.
Yeah.
I will say, for like half a minute when the episode started, I thought maybe you were right.
I thought so too.
My prediction was that Faith doesn't die and we get some main character deaths. 50.
Yeah, 50% on that one. Oh, man, this episode. Let's crack open our things.
Yeah.
Let's open our things.
Lock in, everybody. This is gonna be a wild ride.
I got the C4 Skittles here, man. I need it, I think.
I'm going Dream Float.
I'm going to be up front with everybody at the top of this episode. Didn't love it. In fact, I texted Vance. I said, this episode was atrocious.
I don't get your opinion early much, but usually it's when you don't like something.
Yeah.
And when you said that, I was watching it through the lens of, oh, this is going to be bad. And I was watching it and I'm like, it's okay. It's not great. I have some questions here and there. But by the time we get to the end, I'm like, nah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, it was very much like there's one episode of Angel where I texted Vance and I was just like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah. But you seem to be back in on Angel.
Hey, I'm in that abusive relationship with Angel. It's pushing me. It's pulling me. I don't know.
I don't
usually
get it.
When I'm like, I'm back in by the end of the Angel podcast episode, Vance will convince me that I'm not back in.
Or that you shouldn't be. But you all should listen. It's great.
No, yeah, no. It's, again, I go into stuff for the vibes. I feel like when I watch something, if it washes over me, and if it's like, all right, this is a vibe, we're doing something. And Vance watches it from a much more critical eye. And then by the end, I'm like, oh, yeah, Vance is making a lot more sense.
I think that's more of an overstatement, especially coming from a person, that being you, who couldn't get into a quiet place because you were like, people fart. I can't watch this movie.
Yeah. Within the first 5 minutes of A Quiet Place, I turned to my friend and I was just like, you can never fart. And then I just checked out of that movie.
Yeah, that's not me. I watched that movie and could appreciate it with all of that. Knowing that you can't have any bodily function, but sure.
Couldn't sneeze. Anybody that sneezed, anybody that snores, is goner.
Yep, I can put all that aside and watch the movie and watch John Krasinski shush himself and poke himself in the nose. Yeah.
Yeah. And get his fucking wife pregnant. What a fool. What a fucking fool.
Well, it's easy to get your wife pregnant when you have to be completely quiet and you live with 2 kids.
Yeah.
In a post-apocalypse. Yeah. You gotta, they're just so much sex time, you know?
Jesus. Just become headmasters at that point, you know? Or pull out.
I get that movie. I get it. But you gotta have the baby at the waterfall. There's no reason not to.
Right, dude. Camp that mama out at the waterfall. Yeah. Boys watching, little snippet of Boys Watching.
Yeah, this is what Boys Watching Movies is like.
Patreon.com/Boys Watching.
We did the faculty. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Should we get into it? We got anything else to say?
Yeah, let's get into it. This is a long preamble.
Yes. Yeah. So we open the episode with a Faith coming back recap, Caleb killing people recap, Xander having no eye recap, the coup d'etat on Buffy recap, Faith being the boss, Spike loving Buffy, Buffy finding what we now know as the scythe, and the Faith bomb recap, which just bleeds very nicely into the beginning of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Bomb blows up. Faith, a bunch of Slayers running away from it, get a nice CGI explosion, see that little CGI ripple around all of their bodies as they jump away from the explosion.
I wish it would have freeze framed. And then the title came
How
out.
did I end up here?
It's like, boom, Buffy, did-it, Buffy, did-it. Charlie's Angels.
Yeah. But yeah, the bomb blows up. We see it. Faith tells everybody to get down and run. Run from the bomb. Yeah, blows up. Then we go immediately to Buffy with the scythe, and she's looking at it, and she's all mystified by it, and she picks it up. Caleb comes down before she picks it up. Caleb comes down the little ladder thing that she jumped down last episode, and he's like, "Oh, look at you. Think that you got something fancy there, huh? That ain't yours." And then Buffy just picks it up, sword in the stone style, out of the rock, and Caleb is super surprised because he's like, "Oh man, nobody's been able to get that out of there." Okay, all right. Oh, that kind of fucking sucks for me.
Yeah. Yep.
He's like sad, but also surprised that she did it. And then we get the intro song, and then we come back, and Caleb's like, "Buffy, just give me that scythe." He just hand it over. You don't want that.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
And then she does it, and it's the end of the episode. It was weird.
Yeah. She gives it to him. He swings it, chops her head off, and that's it. Wonder what this last episode's going to be. No, yeah, he's just like, "Come on, you don't want to hold that. You should give it to me." And Buffy's like, "Actually, I think I do want to keep this because now you're fucking nervous and you're backing away. Usually you're like on the offensive, and now you're backing up because you're a scared little bitch boy when I got this scythe thing."
Mm-hmm.
And then the first evil as Buffy shows up. And then the first evil goes, "Let Buffy go." And Caleb's like, "What? Why? Why?"
Yeah.
And the first evil goes, "Because she's got to go somewhere." Caleb's like, "What?" First evil goes, "Yeah, Buffy has friends that are in trouble. Faith go boom."
Yeah, and Buffy can't see her, but she
can't?
No, sometimes because you can't see the first evil unless it wants to see it, unless you want it to see you. Like when Spike was talking to himself as Spike, she couldn't see who he was talking to. Like the first evil has to like reveal itself to you, and that's why she can't hear what he's saying to Caleb at first, but she sees Caleb talking to herself. And she's like, oh, first evil's here. And then the first evil starts to let her voice bleed over so that Buffy can hear that her friends are in trouble.
Okay, yeah. I always just assumed that Buffy could see the first evil here. Oh,
no.
Well, that's interesting. Yep. But Caleb doesn't want to let Buffy go with the scythe. He's like, dude, this is a bad idea. We can't. I can take her. Let me at her. Let me at her. And Buffy's just looking at him. Yeah. Buffy's just looking at him, and then she's like, I think I'm going to dip. Buffy just leaves.
Hated this. Buffy, stab him before you leave. Yeah. Also, first evil, what is your plan? Why are you telling Buffy that her friends go boom? Why?
No idea.
If you don't tell her that, then everything that happens later is good for you. It makes no sense.
First evil is really dumb, dude.
It's all going according to plan, apparently.
Yeah.
God, I just stab him. You have the weapon.
Yeah. You see him backing up.
Yes. He's literally talking to the first evil, having a conversation.
Like strategizing, like, what should we do?
Yeah.
Let her go.
Wait, you want me to let her go? And Buffy's like, I guess I should go. Because friends help.
Yeah.
How does she even know where they went?
She's got Slayer sense.
Yeah. She's got that
Her
vampire tracking ability.
Yeah. My God.
Yeah.
My God. But yeah, so Buffy leaves. She climbs up that little ladder and she ditches the vineyard. We go over to where Faith and all those potentials blowed up. Sewer is just fucking destroyed, man. This is a disaster. But
not on fire or anything, just destroyed.
Yeah. Amanda's still alive. She's walking around. She's like, hello, is anybody else still alive? She grabs a flashlight and some other potential, one that I made fun of on Joe's Fashion Report /corner. She's alive. She doesn't have a name, but she had some awful fucking sleeves last episode. It was like a just sweater sleeves shawl thing. Fucking hated it. But anyway, that one's alive. Felicia Day is still alive. I don't remember her name.
I thought she was going to have a hook for a hand. It looked like her hand was going to be trapped. I thought that was close. Thought they might have to do something. Yeah.
Her arm is broken, maybe. I think my arm is broken.
Is this another No Rona episode?
Yeah. It's also a No Principal Wood episode.
Yeah. Him not being in it is strange later. But it just dawned on me that Rona's not here. And another character is breaking their arm.
Yeah.
How is Rona not here after coup? I know people don't like her in the Discord, but she has to play a part.
Honestly, there is another black potential Slayer with like dreads in this sewer scene. I was like, did they fucking replace Rona? Are they trying to recast her or something?
There's the one girl who was on the bed with Xander with Rachel Bilson. I don't know if that's not the one with dreads. That's not the one.
No, this girl definitely had like braids.
I did see the one with dreads. I was like, oh, is that Rona? Because I don't remember Rona going with them. But then there's yeah.
And then I was like, no, it's definitely can't be. Why would they bring a girl with a broken arm to this?
Yeah, no, I know. I remember seeing that and being like, is that Rona? It's not. And my question about Rona not being here, it's not because I need her to do anything. But it seems like she was a big part of the coup.
Yeah.
How is she not dealing with any of the aftermath of it?
She played a pivotal role in all of this, and she's been MIA for 2 episodes now.
Yeah, I don't know production-wise or whatever, but like you're at the end of the series. I think if you're going to have her do that scene, you got to be like, we need you for 3 more episodes.
Yeah. But so... yeah, Felicia Day's arm's broken, then Kennedy's alive. She dusts herself off, and I gotta get all this off. We gotta find Faith. Where's Faith? Like, I don't know. I haven't found her. Is she dead? Oh no, we gotta find Faith. And they find Faith in just like a pool of water. And now there's I'd say there's probably 11 or 12 potentials down there that are alive.
Yeah. How many went down there?
Yeah,
it seemed like they got more after the explosion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, they show a bunch of bodies laying on the ground, but then did nobody die from this bomb?
We see it at the beginning of this episode. It says 4 seconds and they are at it. They are standing in the room.
Look, man, I've never been in a room with a bomb before, but I don't think I'm making it out alive by just turning my back to it.
We talked about this last episode, and I was like, if they don't kill some people with this bomb, it's really just a letdown. And it's just like hey, that was a good cliffhanger, wasn't it, everybody? Hope you enjoyed that. Yeah. Means nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, but Faith is they pull her out of the water. And they're all checking. Oh my God, is she alive? Is she alive? It's I don't know. But then they hear a growl and they all look over their shoulders and we got to move. We got to move. Let's go. We got to run away. So they are carrying Faith's limp, unconscious body through the sewers. They're running. And then they come upon where I guess they entered or they get lost and their exit is blocked or something. They just start climbing over some rubble. And then a Turok Han appears, which I was very surprised to see a Turok Han again.
I know. 2 things here. They seem to care more about Faith than the girls that they have been training with for weeks. They have known Faith for maybe 3 days, maybe a week, tops.
I would understand that they need to wake Faith up because she's the only one with superpowers. Be like, if we don't have her, we're fucked.
Yeah.
But Kennedy Kennedy did have that bonding moment of you remind me of me. And Kennedy's except I like pussy.
And Faith's according to the internet, so do I.
I might too. Who knows?
Yeah.
See me at the bronze dancing with 4 of each sex, gender, whatever. But yeah, they had that moment where they kind of bonded.
It just seemed like they would see an injured girl, where's Faith? Roll you over. You're not Faith. Get back in there.
Just step on their head.
Yeah.
Out of the way.
And was the first evil's plan to blow up something that would release the Turok? Where are they coming from?
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
After I was Turok Han shows up, and I thought the seal was closed. They reopen it. Obviously, I don't know. There's got to be other ways to get Turok Hans out.
I don't understand this bomb at all now.
Yeah. But yeah, Turok Han shows up, and Kennedy turns around with all the potentials, and she's like, "Guys, we got to stop running. Look. There's only one of him, and there's 50,000 of us. We could take him. Just gang up on him." And I was like, okay, all right, Kennedy.
Caleb was able to blow up the Watchers' offices, but he couldn't blow up.
Vance, don't think about that. Don't think about that, because I thought about that, and I was like, you know what? Fine.
All right.
I'm sure that was probably multiple bombs.
Okay. A whole building got blown up, and these girls just were like, "Ugh, are you okay?"
Yeah, I think I might have broke my arm, but I don't know. I'm geared up for another fight with an Uber vamp, though. Yeah, dude. I thought the exact same thing. Didn't he blow up the Watchers Council with bombs?
Mm-hmm.
This one maybe was weaker because it was wet. In a sewer or something?
Oh, we'll never know.
I mean, I was also just kind of thinking about, did it not, wouldn't that have blown up some infrastructure as well? There'd be more leaking and shit. And
that explosion was huge from what we saw.
Yeah. And I got to reiterate, the potential slayers have no superpowers. They're just regular teenage girls.
Yes.
That have been doing hi-yahs in the backyard of Buffy's house.
Faith isn't even scarred up. She had more scars when Buffy punched her. outside the bronze.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard it. Yeah.
Kenny puts her dukes up. Guys, we got to gang up on this Turakan. So then we go back to the Summers house where Andrew has looted a grocery store. He brings back a bunch of supplies and he's like, yeah, man, there's nobody in town. We can just steal all this shit. Here's some apples. Here's some fresh produce. And Giles is like, oh my God, they got Jaffa cakes.
No, there are no apples and fresh produce. It is chips and cereal and Jaffa cakes that Giles, Jaffa cakes? What are they?
Jaffa cakes? Yeah, I've never heard of them. They must be British.
Some snack cake that Giles is eating as if he hasn't eaten for weeks.
Didn't Andrew say that there's some apples there, though?
Oh, maybe. I just looked at what I saw, and it looked like a bunch of junk.
Yeah.
Not to say you shouldn't have that, but it's like, that's what they always eat.
Well, that's like the whole thing in Zombieland where it's like Twinkies never go bad or whatever. Maybe that's what his
It's been a day. Dude, this is not the... I know they're pitching this as an apocalypse, but Xander was just in the hospital like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
They were just dancing at the bronze. Now they're like, well, some of the produce has gone bad at the grocery store. I'm like, what? It's been a day. There's been no time passed.
Yeah.
Man. That just seems fundamentally the struggle. It's like they want between episodes time. No time has passed between this episode. They had sex last night.
4 seconds has.
Yeah.
Kaboom.
I really had sex last night. They woke up. They went on this mission. And Andrew comes back with snack cakes and food. And everyone's like, oh my God, we haven't had food in days. I'm like, you guys were just at the bronze.
Also, did Andrew go there alone?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
What a bad idea.
Well, I guess no one's in town, and I guess all the vampires left too. I mean, during the day.
Dude, here's the thing. Take away the vampires, take away the demons, take away the harbingers. He's only one person that can only carry so much. Mm-hmm. You can bring a couple people if you're going to loot the store.
Shopping cart, I guess. 2 shopping carts.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just all ridiculous.
But yeah, Giles is munching down a Jaffa cake. Xander and the...
I just can't get over how he was eating it. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, you could have gone to the store 2 days ago and bought that. You've been taking flights to China to pick up underage women. And this Jaffa cake is...
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, if you put it into that kind of perspective, like what dude, you could have gone to the store 2 days ago and just bought it. It's like he hasn't seen one in forever.
Andrew just randomly scooped it into the cart.
Yeah. But so Xander and the other Scoobs, Willow and Dawn, they arrive. They haven't found Buffy yet. Willow's locator spell, which we told her to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
She did it and it didn't work. Kind of petered out at some empty house. So Buffy must have stayed there and left.
This is so ridiculous. That locator spell can float through a forest to find someone. But Buffy left a house like 2 doors down. And it was like, I don't know where she is.
Trail's gone cold, Vance. Magic can only do so much.
Magic powers aren't what they used to be.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then Giles is like, well, yeah, that sucks that Buffy's gone, but I'm worried now about Faith because Faith hasn't come back with the girls. And I don't know what time this is supposed to be, like where this is. Because Faith's plan was like they were going to leave at 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how.
Buffy left early too.
Noon?
Buffy left early in the morning too. She left.
Yeah.
So this has to, let's say this is 2 p.m.
Okay, 2 p.m. Mm-hmm. All right. That's enough time to get worried, I guess. Because I was like, dude, what time is it?
Just watching this episode and the Giles of it all, I was thinking about how crazy it is that knowing his history with Faith, that he was just okay with Faith being put in charge. It just doesn't track at all based off of even when he saw Faith the first time this season. And it was like, oh boy, And then him and Dawn are like, well, we don't like Faith because she tried to kill our Slayer / sister. But you know what? You should be in charge. And Buffy, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
makes no sense. It makes no sense. Giles would never trust Faith. He doesn't trust Spike. It's no way he would ever trust Faith.
Well, that's the thing is like when Willow brings Faith back, they don't know what Faith has been doing. That like it's a surprise. I feel like that Faith came back with Willow. Like,
she did tell him.
Maybe she did call her.
She told him that they were coming back, but telling that you're bringing a person back is not the same as actually seeing them in the house.
Yeah, she's got to come back in a straitjacket and a muzzle like fucking Anthony Hopkins, Hannibal Lecter. And then they're just like, all right, we'll let you go when we need to.
No, she just comes back, gets into one fight, gets beat up by Caleb, and they're like, you know what? You're the leader now.
Got in one little fight, my mom. And she said, you're leader of the Slayers and Potentials in Sunnydale.
Oh. And tune in next week for the full version of that song.
Then Andrew's talking about how he's keeping morale up. And they're like, okay, great. And the Scoobs are like, well, we got to go out and we got to find Faith. We got to find Faith now. And then Giles is like, it could be dangerous. And Andrew's like, I'll stay here. I am not. He's the smartest character in the show.
Where's Principal Wood? Did he take his ball and go home?
I guess so. He saw that Faith didn't want him on the front lines. And he was like,
the Slayer's always breaking my heart.
It's a mission that's important, I guess. Just want to cry in my mommy's jacket.
Yeah. Where's Spike?
Good God. But so Scoobs are out to go. They're going to go. They need to find Faith. So we go back to the sewers, and Kennedy is like about to fight the Turok Han, but one jumps her from behind, and she like flips it over her, and now there's 3 Turok Hans.
The killer Turok Hans just bear hugs her from behind.
I mean, even worse.
Yeah, like softly.
Two of them gang up on one potential Slayer, and they just start like scratching at her back. Like, these are uber vampires that Buffy couldn't kill for like the first several episodes that she saw it.
You know what? Just show it being ripped apart. Just show her being ripped apart, or start they hold her up and they start to pull, cut away, reaction shot of the potentials, and hear the sound effect.
Spray of blood
and sound effects. Our mind will do the rest.
Yes.
Instead, we just
You've already killed a couple potential Slayers in the explosion, I'm guessing.
Instead, they're like scratching at like, and I'm like, why are you guys not running?
It's so silly looking when they're scratching her back. It's so silly.
Yeah.
And she just like bends over and puts her hands over her head, and they're just like,
I guess they killed her there. I don't know.
Who knows, dude? But Kennedy grabs a giant like spear axe, and she's like, hurrah, I'm gonna kill this thing. And then the Turok Han just swats that shit away, grabs her by the neck, starts choking her. And I was like, the rest of the potentials are just watching this happen. None of them are doing shit. So much for Kennedy's, let's all gang up on him. Like the rest of them are just like standing there with just clutching their pearls like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like,
and I was like, oh, great. We're going to get a potential death that is actually a real potential. Someone that we've been given a name. Nope.
Because here comes Buffy. Buffy shows up in time to save the day, and Buffy's got the scythe, and she fucking dusts 2 Turok Hans like right away, within like 5 seconds of each other. And then a third one comes and attacks her, and she gets hit, but then she gets back up. She gets knocked down. She gets back up again. Turok Han never gonna keep her down. And she beheads this Turok Han. And the potentials all look at Buffy like, whoa, is this Thunderdome again? Wow.
Well, I guess you could be our leader again since you killed more Terracons.
Yep.
Kind of need to keep a couple of those in your back pocket anytime we get out of line. They're losing respect for me. Unleash a Terracon. Like, have another Coliseum fight.
They're all looking at Buffy like, oh my God, she's so great. Like, and then Buffy's like, get to the wounded. We're leaving. And they're like, okay, yes, ma'am.
It's like, Buffy, you don't want to ask what happened here or anything? Just orders. And that
she knows that they go boom.
That scythe is so shiny and future. It looks like something Iron Man would make.
Right? It is it's red, it's gold, and then wooden.
It has that little wooden stake at the end of it.
It's not little, dude. That's like a third of the body of that scythe, man.
Oh, this weapon. This introduced weapon.
Dude, do not. We're gonna. Oh my God.
So on Discord, we did get some information on Discord that this has been in a comic before this.
Oh, of course. Of course it's been in a fucking comic.
Who cares? It's not canon in the comic if you're watching the show. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
So when I saw this thing, I was like, what is that? Some axe in the thing? Correct. We still don't know what it is. It's some magic weapon.
Yeah.
We learn more about it this episode, but 2 episodes in, Buffy, the all-powerful person, needs an all-powerful weapon now.
Dude, they are starting so many storylines with one episode. It's like, are they really doing this?
Yeah.
Are they really? Like, I thought that Caleb's edition was like, well, this seems a little like there's not a lot left. How are we going to include this guy? They're still introducing shit.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It feels like a race to the finish line, but people are still building the bridge or something. You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah. So they go back to the Summers house. There's a bunch of wounded potentials. They're all bloody. There's a bunch of people laying on sleeping bags. People are tending to them. They bring Faith upstairs. Kennedy's so worried about Faith.
I will say that you predicted that. Will Faith be unconscious again or have another
or in a coma
again? And I was like, oh boy, she loves comas.
That's her thing.
Watch her head. Watch her head.
Yeah. That's her thing, like Giles getting knocked out was his thing.
I miss Giles getting knocked out. Maybe he'll get knocked out one last time.
I hope so.
Yeah.
He hasn't been knocked out in a while.
Yeah, he should, though. He needs a knock on the head. He's a weird character now.
He got knocked out last season. What Dark Willow knocked him out. Remember? And then he's talking to Anya. And he's I think that he even says, like, this is sort of my thing. That would
have been a fitting end to Giles, I think.
Yeah. Him coming back with the coven powers.
Yeah. Or having his head lopped off by a harbinger.
A harbinger?
Yeah. I think that would have been, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kennedy's like asking about Faith. Is Faith going to be okay? You guys are Slayers. You heal fast, right? And Buffy's like, yeah, but I don't know about Faith, dude. She took a bomb to the face. I guess not really.
I guess because I only know whatever the first evil told me through Caleb. Like, Buffy, you don't know what happened. Like, I guess the girls could be like, if they all survived, they should be okay.
Yeah. So then the potentials are like, so wait, does this mean that you're back? Are you our leader again? And Buffy's like, I don't know. Am I back? You guys all fucking voted me out.
Principal Wood shows us. Principal Wood comments and goes, so we vote.
So we vote again.
People keep asking me, am I back? I'm thinking I'm back.
But, I think Amanda keeps saying, like, oh, this is a punishment. This is our punishment. And Buffy's like, no, it's not a punishment. I don't blame Faith for this. Like, it was a trap. I could have, this could have happened to me. I could have led you guys in there the same way. And then she goes upstairs and Amanda's just like, I don't give a fuck what she says. I think that we're getting punished.
I know they want that to be the thing, but it's the exact same thing that happened when Buffy took them to the vineyard.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, someone broke their arm in both of them. People died, like, both times. So I don't get why they're like, we're being punished. It was like, were you being punished the first time you went too? I mean, it's the same. It's so much the same that it's, I know what they're trying to get at, but it's.
Now, does Amanda think they're being punished for kicking Buffy out? Is that what she's?
I think so.
Okay, because I was like, what are you getting punished about?
I think that's what she's thinking. They're getting punished. But I'm like, that punishment for kicking Buffy out, you still got the same ass kicking when you weren't punished for just following Buffy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's why I was just like, why? What is she getting? What are they getting punished for?
Yeah, it's like the punishment can't be the same as the pre-punishment. It's like you can't be like, all right, you're grounded in your room, and you're like, oh, okay, and then it's like, and now you're grounded in your room because you did the same thing. It's like, no, like you can't. And this is all Amanda has this episode, right? Like that's the end.
Well, she was the first potential to show up as alive.
Yeah.
How is she alive? She weighs 40 pounds. They're soaking wet.
They're all like supposed to be 16, 17-year-old regular people with potential.
Yeah. Like, I don't care how much Tai Chi you do in the backyard. It's not going to defend you from a bomb.
Yes.
And you're just a regular girl.
Soldiers die in explosions.
Dude, that's so insane. I don't know who was closest to the bomb aside from Faith. Faith was the one that kind of kicked it open.
I wanted to see Faith like take it all.
Yeah, I know. Like something.
Or like shield something. They look like they're jumping. It's all for one during that jump.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of this episode, people. It's going to be a lot of us trying to figure out, talking ourselves through the story as we go.
Yeah. Flabbergasted sighs.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of trying to make sense of the logic of it, but there's going to be some gaps where I'm like, I don't know.
And I'm going to stay on my, what is Giles doing? Because this next scene, he's like a kid. He's like a kid, dude. What do they do? Like, he's phoning it in. He's done. He's like, I'm done with this show. Like, no more high and mighty Giles. God.
So they go upstairs and, Faith is unconscious and Buffy tells the Scoobs and everybody that's in that room that like, hey, I found an axe type thing, found this scythe thing that made Caleb worried. I don't know what it is, but grabbing it feels good, man. Feels really good. And Giles is like, let me see. And he grabs it. He just starts swinging it around like a fucking kid in a candy shop.
He's like a character in the Angel show who does the same thing when he gets it, but it fits for his character.
Yeah.
And Giles sees this. He's like, whoa, three ways to kill with this thing? I've never seen anything like this. I'm like, you haven't seen a weapon that has 3 sharp edges to it? What are you talking about, guy?
Dude, this weapon is so impractical.
In the Angel show, which is not a spoiler, a character has a baseball bat that's like sharpened to the end to a stake. That's halfway here.
Yeah.
To this minus the magical part of it.
Dude, all you need to do is take that axe that Kennedy had fighting the Turok Han and sharpen the bottom of it, and you got the same weapon, dude. It's the exact same. It's not shiny, but it's the same.
Oh, Giles is, and he's just swinging it around, and Buffy's just, I'm like, put it down, dude.
Yeah, dude, there's also like 7 people in this room with an
bedroom.
unconscious girl. Yeah, what if he just flings it, chops Faith head off by accident?
What if it shoots like a power beam out of it or something, and you don't even know? You know what I mean?
Dude,
like,
when he started swinging that, like you're so right. He is just like a little kid.
He's eating like snack cakes and swinging an axe around like a kid that just came home from like watching like Star Wars or something. And Willow makes a scythe matters joke, the size of the scythe matters joke.
Yeah.
Or scythe, she says scythe. Oh, I guess scythe matters. And then she elbows Giles like a size matters joke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the lesbian Willow is elbowing her father figure / high school crush about making a dick joke.
Yeah.
None of the jokes in this episode land for me, and they do a bunch of them, and these used to work. But tonally, we're so far dark this season that you have to be strategic when you layer them in.
Yeah, yeah.
Faith is unconscious in the next room. Potentials have just died, and he's swinging an axe.
I thought they were in the same room with Faith.
I think she's in I think is she in the bed?
No, dude, I'm pretty sure they're in the same room.
So they're in a room with that. He's swinging it around, and Willow's making dick jokes. No.
And Buffy's trying to like explain to
and Buffy has
like,
no emotion.
This scythe is important, guys. And Giles is like, wee! Buffy, look at this. It's like Spike in the opening credits with in the subway.
It's just so wild that this is happening like this. Giles isn't like, oh, you found a new weapon. This is great. We have to figure out this. Like does that, but like in a weird kid joy.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit his personality from what he's been like. Don't go on dates.
Yeah. But Buffy's talking to them and she's like, when I hold this, like I know that it belongs to me. Like I feel something. There's some kind of mystical senses and stuff that's going on. And Willow's like, it might be mystical. Maybe it's like a traditional Slayer weapon or something. And Buffy's like, yeah, maybe. Who knows? And Giles is like, actually, I'm surprised that I would have never heard of this if it's a traditional Slayer weapon. And Buffy's like, I don't know what it is, man.
You didn't even know about the bag that Principal Wood's Slayer mom had. You know, like...
Yeah, I didn't know about the shadow puppet thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Buffy's like, I don't know exactly what it is, but I am pretty certain that this scythe is important and we need to research it. And because like when I grabbed it, Caleb started backing up. So that's a good sign. And Willow's like, all right, I'm on it. Let me open up my MacBook.
Yeah.
Tap, 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 tap.
When she did that, I was like, so the information's on the early 2000s internet?
Apparently.
Yeah, guess it all got ported over. I would never let that axe out of my sight if I was Buffy. It is insane that she doesn't hold on to that.
Yeah, I would just like strap it to my belt.
Yeah.
That is mine, dude.
Yeah.
But then when you see her carrying it around later on in the episode, it does look really fucking goofy.
Yeah, it does. I don't think it's the right style for the show. It's too shiny, looks like a new car or something in an old show.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite right.
Yeah. I want it to look modern yet still ancient.
Dude.
This is the dude episode, isn't it?
So yeah. Let's push through. Let's push through.
I can't wait.
Before I lose all of my hair doing this episode, man. This episode is so fucking ridiculous.
I got some big thoughts on the ending and the prediction. So yeah.
Okay.
That's a little tease to go forward.
I think I might have like some thoughts, but I don't know. But anyway, so we go to Andrew, and Andrew is tending to a wounded girl with Anya. And then Anya just like takes the alcohol that they're like using as an antiseptic or whatever. She starts just drinking it. And Andrew's like, hey, what are you doing? She's like, oh, who gives a fuck? This girl's probably going to die anyway. The girl's conscious. Yeah. She's like, hey.
Yo, Anya's on one, man.
I know. But Andrew's like, well, if she's going to die, I might as well start drinking. Potential's looking at like, what the fuck?
Hey, Buffy's back in charge. Deal with it.
Yep. Anya's like, dude, this girl's going to die. Probably a bunch of other girls are going to die. Don't worry about it. And Andrew's like, dude, these girls, they need stitches. They need painkillers. They need a bunch of medical equipment. Like, we don't have any of that stuff. All we got is like this malt liquor that Giles is fucking using. He's got a fucking Colt 45 to tend to the wound.
It is some like whiskey or scotch. Normally, you would use some type of vodka as more of an alcohol, but he just drinks scotch. But you would think they would have something at their place. I guess Buffy heals up and she doesn't care about Dawn enough to actually buy rubbing alcohol.
Yeah. But Andrew is like, you know what? I'm going to fucking be a hero. I'm going to go to the hospital. I'm going to get supplies. And Anya's like, are you serious? And he's like, yep, I am. And you know what? You're coming with me. And Anya's like, okay. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I am coming with you. I'll get Kennedy to look after the girls. She's tough. She can take care of herself. I'm going with you to the hospital. And then just leave that girl the potential they were taking care of. And she's looking like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, something like, oh, Kennedy loves being close to impending death or something.
Yeah.
It's funny and it's on brand for Anya, but man, she is like no sensitivity.
Dude.
Why was she so happy to go to the hospital? And why did they make going to the hospital seem like I know why it should be a death trap, but they act like going to the hospital is like, really? You're going to go to the hospital? Why not just go to the pharmacy? I understand the hospital is a set that we have, but but it's like, it's not that hard to get the stuff that they need.
Yeah, but like, he said that they need stitches and painkillers.
The hospital was abandoned 2 days after Xander got his eye patched up there. The night that he had his eye patched, I was thinking about this. The night that he came back from getting his eye patched up, they released him from the hospital, and then the power went out 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Did they discharge him, shut down the hospital, and move out all the injured people that night?
Vance, don't you know that hospitals close at like 11 every night? They kick everybody out and you got to go back in the morning. They send you home and you got to come back.
Vampires just waiting for feeding time when they just push all the gurneys out on the street.
Man.
But yeah, Anya's like, yeah, I will go. And I was like, what? Why is that? I've seen you go on missions before. Do you not want to go because there's a hitman after you that hasn't come back? There are people trying to kill Anya, and it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah, dude. I mean, everybody left town though. I'm sure the hitmen have left town as well.
Even de Hoffren.
Yeah.
De Hoffren's never in town. He's everywhere.
The guy who can appear basically anywhere he wants. He left town.
It's hard to
Hellmouth is getting a little too crazy for him.
It's hard to kill people when they're in Buffy's house, you know?
Dude. Truth.
Unless you're Joyce's friend. Unless you're Joyce's friend.
What was her name? Patty or whatever? Pat?
Pam or something. Yeah, Pat. Pam. I don't know.
Whatever. I feel like I'm getting to be like Scott Evil in Austin Powers. Where he's like, dude, if you got a time machine, why don't you just go back in time while he's like on the crapper and shoot him? Like, I got a gun. Let's just go shoot him.
Yeah.
And the show, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, is like, how about no, Scott?
Hey, Buffy, you want to stab Caleb when you run past him? Just stab him in the neck. Just stab him in the neck real quick. No.
How about no? Like, there's so many ways that the show could, like, dude, the first evil fucking stinks.
I will say something positive, all right? You know, we're 50 minutes into this thing. I'll say something positive.
It's our first positive. We like the show.
Let's say
our first positive thing of this episode.
We liked the show. We liked it. I didn't realize that Anya and Andrew were the team up that we always needed.
Are you serious? You think that this is the team up that we needed? Because I did not enjoy it.
It's ridiculous enough that, like, it's fine. You know, it's harmless and does nothing for the plot of the episode, and it was fine. Like, if you cut it out, it does nothing. They do talk about something later that we had brought up. There's a moment that I was like, this is silly enough, and that works for me. So I was like, fine. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you liked it, that's your opinion.
What's your positive?
the glee in which Giles was swinging that axe was infectious.
It's funny, but so out of character. It makes no sense for the situation.
Here's a positive. I'm glad Faith isn't dead, because I was worried. I was like, when that bomb went off, I was like, if that's Faith's end, we didn't get a full redemption, and it sucks for her character. Well, I'm happy that she's not dead.
I said last episode, if she doesn't die, it was no way to win once I saw the bomb. If she dies, it's a wasted story arc. If she doesn't die, then the bomb was just a nonsense tease that does nothing. Honestly, the bomb doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
You don't even need bombs. You could just have 3 Turricons show up.
Yeah.
And
have them in the box.
Yeah.
Have them jump out. Rawr.
Have them knock out Faith really quickly. And then the potentials are facing off with 3 Turricon. That's a cliffhanger. That's all I need. I don't need the explosion. They can kill as many of the random girls that we see before. You know? Like, we can cut to this episode and the Turricons have killed 3 girls, and then Kennedy's like backing up in a corner with all of them and saying we have to fight. Would do exactly the same thing this episode did without me being like, they all should have died immediately.
You know what? That is such a good point. Like, you replace the bomb with the Turrican. Like, that is such a better way to do what they're trying to do.
The Turricons show up 5 seconds into the episode, and you're like, wait, so, like, why did we need the bomb?
That was an option? Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
Damn, dude. Damn. There was our 1 second of positivity on this episode that immediately went to like, why'd they have a fucking bomb? It's so stupid.
And I know we wanted a bomb, but the bomb has to blow something up.
It has to kill people that we care about.
Last season, we introduced a gun, and that gun killed someone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also apparently killed Buffy for a half a second. She flatlined, I guess.
Sure, whatever. I don't care. I can't even open my mind to what that means. I need Buffy to say she died 3 times for me to believe that. Yeah. She's only sung the song that she died twice, and I know that was before that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, yeah, Anya and Andrew, they're off to go to the hospital. And we go to the kitchen, and Buffy's talking to Xander, and they're having the most vague conversation so that there's a surprise later. They're planning something. Buffy has a plan, but it's going to exclude Xander from the final battle. But Xander always thought that he was going to be by Buffy's side for the final battle. And Buffy's like, you think this is the final battle? That means that you think I'm going to die. And Xander's like, I don't think you're going to die. I have faith in you. But like, if it is, I always thought that I'd be with you. And Buffy's like, geez, thanks, man. If you think I'm going to die, but I need you. I trust you with my life. I trust you with my life, dude. I need you to do this mission that I cannot speak of. And Xander's like, I don't know if I can do the mission. I don't know. I want to be with you. And Buffy's like, you got to do this mission, man. You got to do it. If you care about me, you got to do this mission that I will not say out loud for the audience. You know what I'm saying though, right, Xander? Yeah, I know what you're saying. We got to do it. And then Xander's like, all right, cool. And then Buffy's like, all right, well, kind of sucks that you think that I'm going to die. And Xander's like, hey, if you die, I'll bring you back to life again. That's kind of what I do. And I was like, but
I was just locked in on their denim wear during the scene.
Dude, it was way too much denim. It was way too much. I'm so glad. Like, that's going to be an integral part of the Fashion Report /corner. It was way too much.
Again, I don't notice outfits that much. It has to be something that stands out and jumps out at me. Like, I notice like what they're wearing sometimes, but it's not like, unless it's distracting or like it can just wash over me. But
yeah.
Like, you notice every single outfit.
Yeah.
So much so that you're like, that girl's not aged and she's wearing the same shirt. But the denim did me in. I was just staring at that the whole time.
Dude, I'm so glad that it was distracting. It's distracting.
Like, he's got the denim shirt jacket and she's got the denim coat jacket on. I mean, yeah.
They both have denim jackets. Xander's in full Canadian tuxedo, like same color denim.
What?
And then there's he's got like frayed parts of his fucking jacket that looks kind of red, kind of like American flaggy, and he's got the eye patch, dude. I love the eye patch so much. It's unbelievable.
That's your thing. That's your favorite thing of the episode, the eye patch.
Dude, it's so good. But
he looks fine with the eye patch. Like
he does.
It works. I love that he hasn't brought up like, hey, can someone get me my eye back?
No, well, that's why Buffy can't have him in the fight, because you can't use a crossbow anymore, or bow and arrow, because whatever. And then every time he grabs a sword, she's worried he's going to cut her tits off or whatever. She says, like,
it felt like, hey, let's give these two one last jokey scene and friendship and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, in a vacuum, this scene works for me, but minus the, let's hide the beginning of the scene from the audience so that we don't know what happens later. And then we immediately know what's going to happen when we see the scene where it's supposed to happen. If you've ever seen any TV before or medium. Again, this show's like 25 plus years old. So people hadn't seen as much stuff. We've seen it. We can know what's coming. They didn't use Willow's mind control stuff to talk. It would have been really cool if the first evil was just like sitting there eating a bowl of cereal, listening in on the plan. Like, yeah, I can hear everything.
First evil does not need to be seen to hear everything.
Yeah.
What is this fucking first evil doing? They're planting so many things in this house that the first evil has been in several times.
Now, I would buy this scene if Buffy's like, I can't say this out loud because the first evil will hear it. It can't read minds. They definitely said it can't read minds. I don't know if it can read paper. Maybe you write it down. I don't know.
Write it down.
I don't know.
Text it.
Text it. But then during the scene, Xander complains about Buffy protecting him and not letting him go into the fight.
Mm-hmm.
He kicked her out. They said they didn't want to go into the fight with her in the episode where they kicked her out because they didn't think the fight was... Why? Like, that was the whole argument, right? That Buffy's leading them to their death, and they're like, hey, I lost my eye. I don't think I can trust you. And now she's like, hey, you know what? I don't want you to go to this. It's going to be dangerous. Like, what the fuck? Let me go. I'm like, you kicked her out of the house. You kicked her out of her own house.
I feel like Xander was one of the less aggressive people when that was going down.
But he didn't speak.
He did not object when they kicked her out. He did not object.
There was no like, whoa, this is a little brash. Faith did it. Faith said, hey, maybe not. But he let Principal Wood just go. We vote. Xander wasn't like, hey, chill. She still lives here. Yeah. He didn't talk Dawn down. He didn't say, Dawn, that's a little aggressive. You kicking your sister out of the house? Have you seen outside? It's either more safe or more dangerous. I don't really know. I can only have one eye. So why would he
barely walk?
Yes. But I want to go to battle again.
Hey, Buffy, thanks for walking me into the house. Now get out.
Now, 2 days later, I'm going to argue with you that I need to go to this fight. Dude. They didn't want to go to the fight with her when she said we have to fight Caleb. And now the only difference is she has an axe that they don't know. And a bunch of more girls have died. Why would you now?
Because Faith is unconscious. Who else are they going to turn to?
Like, I don't know. I mean, you just kicked her out because of following her into a trap. And now you're just like, well, you got another plan that I just couldn't. And then Buffy says Xander is her strength, which I was like, sure. Whatever.
So
I thought
Caleb going to rip out his biceps now. Is this a speech that we should really be paying attention to?
Takes his quads.
Yeah. Xander can't do the front double biceps anymore because Buffy said that he's the strength. Dude, when people were like, "Oh, it's because he said that fucking speech to Dawn," that's
Caleb
why I ripped out his
know
eye.
it.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!
Caleb shouldn't know that. And if he does know that, then the first evil knows everything, so it shouldn't be a surprise when Buffy shows up. It's just, they made a villain that's so lame, but so omnipresent that it's, man, it's ghost story logic, you know?
Yeah, man.
Which I don't like. I don't like ghost stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like at the end, you randomly kill the ghost that's been able to float through walls. You can't touch it. And then somehow you read an incantation and then you chop its head off.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like they did in Buffy when they brought her back to life.
they're like, wait a minute.
This is the cost of doing magic, Vance.
You should.
It's an easily killable ghost.
Dawn, like, I don't think I was supposed to see that.
Yeah. God.
But just, yeah, I mean, Xander 2 days ago allowed her to be kicked out, and now he wants to go die in battle with her.
I always thought that I'd be by your side. Oh, yeah, you think that when I got kicked out of the house?
Yeah, you didn't walk. I didn't see you get up and hobble after me. And bump into the door frame.
God damn it, dude. God damn it.
So in a vacuum, though, I can buy this. After her getting kicked out, it just takes a different level. If she didn't get kicked out, I'm down for the scene.
Dude, even if she did get kicked out, if there was enough time spaced out.
Yes.
But like you keep mentioning the timeline of all this stuff happening, and it's been, I don't know exactly
2 to 3 days tops.
Less than a week for sure.
Yes. They kicked her out. They went to. They had sex. They had sex the night they kicked her out. Right? No, or that was the next day because they got the. Yeah, because it was like they went to sleep after they kicked her out. The next day they captured the bringer, and then the next morning they went to this thing. So it's been like 2.5 days.
Yeah, yeah, man.
That's not enough time. That's not enough time for the most damaging thing you can have is all your friends kick you out of a house, including your sister who you died for.
Kick you out of your own house.
Does she talk to Dawn this episode?
I don't think she does.
Jeez, dude.
I don't think she does. Jeez. You're right.
Jeez, come on.
This would be fine if there was more episodes.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know.
This needs to be the middle of the season. This needs to be like with 7 episodes left or in the middle of the season when Buffy gets kicked out or something, and we do an arc with that.
Yeah, I would say even like 5 episodes left, they could do this. But there is so much that they're like. Do you think this next episode is going to be 2 hours?
If this was streaming days, yes. This is going to just be a 50-minute episode tops.
God,
it's
dude,
network.
They have so much to.
Oh, they might solve. No, we'll talk about it at the end. They've already solved half the problems.
But yeah, anyway. So after this Buffy Xander scene, which we've gotten way off track of.
I know. It just bothers me. It's been 3 days, and all of a sudden he's like, "I'll go to war with you," but 2 days ago I would not.
Yeah. So we go upstairs, and Willow is with Giles doing research, and she's on her laptop, and she finds out that the vineyard was a monastery before. And Giles like, I think this scythe is older than that. It's got to be. And then Willow's like, well, maybe it was
how
like
can you
a
tell
pagan
it's so shiny?
temple. Dude, how is it that shiny if it's been encased in rock for so long?
He's like, this has to be older. It's like shinier than my midlife crisis car.
But Willow's like, I think it may have been a pagan temple before it was a monastery. And then Willow's like, why am I researching the vineyard? I got to stop researching the vineyard. Let me just start researching this scythe. And
it's nighttime. You didn't Google the weapon first?
She didn't internet search the weapon first, Vance.
Insane.
Not Google.
Insane that it would be on the internet. I looked at the web address and it's just the numbers. It looked like it was like 128 dot whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was like, the website was like history of the axe.
Yeah.
If you're not doing research, if you just go to history of the axe and hope that something that, whatever.
Yeah. And so she starts researching demonic axes, and Giles is like, I don't know about that. And he's looking through books, and he's like, I don't know if we can narrow this down. How the fuck are we going to narrow this down? There's so many axes in this whole fucking history.
He says a line that just, it made me ask, does he not watch the show? He says, the illustrations are never clear enough.
Dude.
We have seen, Dawn has flipped the book over and was like, is this the demon that you described to me in full detail? That if you ever would have saw it to give it a sketch, it would have ripped your eyes out? And he's like, the illustrations are never, it's an axe. Who can't draw that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, he doesn't watch the show. He skipped the first 3 seasons.
He's never opened one of his own Watcher books.
Yeah.
Like, they have very intensely detailed sketches of these demons.
Yeah. Demons that you would never be able to draw a picture of accurately.
I feel like this has got to be like a joke that the writers threw in there to get people to lose their shit.
Yeah. I hope the listeners are like, you idiots, that's obviously a joke. He doesn't deliver it in a joking way, though. There's nothing about the delivery that makes it, I don't know, they don't do the thing where it's kind of a wink to the audience, because they've done that a ton.
Yeah.
But sure, maybe. If this is a joke,
I feel like it has to be a joke.
If it's a joke, it didn't land the right way, and I appreciate the joke attempt. But if it's not a joke and they just had him say that because he's been acting really out of character all episode, then that's where I was at. So
then Willow gets up from the laptop, and then she just picks up the scythe and she starts trying to do like a meditation with it. And Giles is like, do you sense anything? Do you sense anything that maybe Buffy have felt? And Willow's like, nah, must be just like a Slayer thing. And Giles is like, maybe it's also like a magic thing.
Dude, what are you doing? You took over witch powers to take her down when she was an evil witch, and then took her to London or England for rehab. Why? That's like going up to an alcoholic and being like, hey, just have a little taste of this. Just have a little taste of bourbon. Can't have one?
Can't even have one?
Can't have one? And Willow's like, I don't want to do it. Even a locator makes me get the dark tingle, she says.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, just touch this thing that we don't know anything about and put your powers into it. Giles, what the fuck, guy? You of all people know the danger. If it was Kennedy, sure. If it's Buffy, Buffy has said, hey, I need you to use your powers. She's risky like that. Giles, you have to be the adult in the room. It is insane that he tries to egg her to use magic, and they don't even know if it's going to work.
Not only does he try to egg her on to do magic, when she says no like twice, he's like, come on, dude. I used to be cool.
I know another vampire that doesn't like no. Just, it was so insane that he's actually pushing her to do this.
Yeah. Can't do a locator spell without my roots going dark, Giles. God, used to party, Willow. What the fuck happened to you?
It's like toking up. You hear that bong rip?
What the fuck happened to you, bro?
You sure you don't want to hit this?
Come on, just one. Just one, dude.
I wish I had another drink to crack open right then with the sound effect.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's got faith in her. You can do it, Willow. And she's like, I'm going to get back to researching.
You know what I thought here? I thought they were going to put, because they're talking about how it affects its slayers, I thought they were going to give it to Faith to try to revive her and see if it jogged anything with her. Like, you know, like utilize the fact that you have 2 slayers for the first time that are on the same side again. I thought it would be like, hey, let's put this on Faith. Maybe it'll charge her up and bring her back. Nope. Never even think of it.
No. But Willow goes back to her laptop to do some more researching on axes. And she's like, I'm not finding anything. They're all demonic axes. I don't know what the fuck this is. And what's this thing? It's an M with like a weird question mark.
I've been staring at the same webpage for hours now, and I can't find answers.
And when she brings up that there's an M with a question mark, Giles is like, wait a minute. Wait, a tick? So it's all coming back to me. It's not a question mark. That's a hieroglyph. And the hieroglyphs used like a question mark looking thing to mean a scythe. Maybe that scythe, maybe that question is the scythe symbol. And then Giles grabs the scythe and he's like, I think we found our answer. It's like, Willow didn't even open up the page yet, dude. Fucking let her open up the page.
He's like, yes, look at that pagan temple. Maybe we'll find something. And it's like, oh, so we could just keep doing research and not have to use my magic and risk me like turning into something monstrous that the first evil could use, because this could be a first evil trap, just. But no, okay, sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Good talk.
Good talk. Good talk.
Thanks for pushing me to almost a relapse.
Because you didn't want to like use your brain any longer.
Except that she's been relapsing.
She has been using her powers, but I will say, I don't want you to use your powers on something that we just got from the first evil.
Yeah, something that is potentially, you don't know what this is.
Right?
Locator spells, sure.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But this, opening portals to a Slayer's Shadow Men dimension, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, that's something that came from another Slayer. This thing came from the first evil and Caleb, like, who,
as far as they know,
who Willow has not met or seen. She doesn't know what Caleb looks like.
She hasn't.
She just knows there's a strong priest somewhere.
Yeah. But anyway. So we go to Xander and Dawn. They're in the car. They've got their flashlights. They're looking for a crossbow. And then Xander is just saying the most annoying, jokey jibber jabber about how he's only got one eye. He's just like, hey, you get hey, somebody could lose an eye, kid. It's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye. These jokes, they aren't hitting me anymore. And Dawn's like, haha, okay.
Oh, that's like, why can't it be like Eye of the Beholder and like call me Cyclops and stuff? And then Dawn starts laughing like a 10-year-old at that.
Yeah.
A day ago, you guys were mad at Buffy because he lost his eye. Now it's just all jokes, and it's like, whatever.
Yeah. And then so Xander is like, I just want some originality, I just want something original to happen. And then Dawn's like, okay. And they're standing very close to each other. And I was like, don't do this, show. Don't do this.
I was not thinking that. I already knew what was happening in the scene. So
then Xander pulls out a fucking rag full of chloroform. He's like, Dawn, smell this. Does it smell like chloroform to you? And he throws it up again. He grabs her. He chloroforms her, throws her in the car, and he drives off. And what doesn't work with this scene is the music. The music is like this, like, dramatic, oh shit, is Xander fucking
gone evil,
betraying Buffy and he's stealing Dawn? It's like, we already saw this. It was obviously the plan that Buffy was talking about.
He literally was like, I'm not gonna be there, and she's like, I need you to do this. And then as soon as I saw him at the car with Dawn, I was like, oh yeah, this is it. He's taking her away. As soon as I saw it. And then they do that, like, oh shit, Xander's evil at the end. I was like, no, like, don't show us the beginning of that last scene with Buffy. And then this happens. And then I'm like, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
But you can't show me a scene where he's like, really, I have to leave? And he leaves.
Yeah.
Now, I have a couple issues, though. Of course. Why not? Because this is that podcast. I'll do the quick little nitpicky thing. Xander mentions that he has to take a driving test every year now.
Yeah.
When did he learn this information? Did the doctor tell him that when he left the hospital 2 days ago?
Whoa. The doctor didn't tell Xander anything. Nurse Buffy told him all of his stuff. True. Buffy probably told him.
So when did he find out about this driving test every year situation? Did he Google that for some reason? It would never come up. I think it's an interesting fun fact that probably a writer in a writer's room discovered. Like, and then they threw it in here. But it's no way Xander knows that. Minor nitpick. My bigger issue is all the potentials go to Buffy's house for protection. Like, they're flying from all over the country to go there.
All over the world.
All over the world, yeah. All over the world to get there. But instead of keeping them there, she's sending Xander and Dawn away where they would be more easily killed. Like, I don't know where they're driving to. They don't say. But if you're the first evil and you're actually a good villain, you kill those two and you pretend to be them and really fuck shit up.
Oh, yeah.
It's like no reason not to.
Yeah.
I know they're not a potential and they're not slayers, and her goal is the first evil's goal is to kill all the potentials. So it seems it would have worked if you didn't tell Buffy that they were in trouble. I think the Terracon would have killed all the potentials and would have done the job. But yeah, so I don't think them driving away is the smart move for safety purposes.
Yeah, I mean, I can justify that in my own head. Like,
you can.
They're trying to do. I just didn't like the music cue.
Oh, the music cue was terrible.
The music cue was terrible.
We know he's not evil.
Yeah, like after he's like, "I want to die by your side, Buffy."
Yeah,
and then it's like, "Oh no, is he chloroformed Dawn? What is he going to do with her?" It's like. We just saw this, dude. Like,
it'd be funny if he called Buffy. It's like, Buffy, if you don't let me die by your side, Dawn's dead.
Calls Buffy. Change of plans, Buffy.
I'm with the first evil right now, and we can have your sister. They might as well have done that at the end of this episode. That would be amazing if all the
that they're introducing.
That'd be amazing if all the people that hate Xander are like, just wait till you get to the second to last episode.
Oh. God. So then we go to Caleb throwing a casket of wine, and the first evil is like, "Hey, you're wasting a lot of wine there, buddy."
Is it called a casket of wine? You keep calling it a casket.
Yeah, I keep saying a casket.
It's a barrel. It's a barrel.
I feel like barrels, wine isn't in barrels.
Yeah, it's in.
I feel like casket is like
it's in a
classy.
It's in a cask, but I don't think a casket is what you. I don't think that's what you call it.
I mean, it is a barrel. I will be.
Oh, maybe it's a wine casket box. No, that's like a little thing that you put a bottle of wine in. But a cask, a cask is different.
What's the cask of a Mondiago or whatever? Isn't there a book?
Yeah, it's a cask. They're called cask. Okay. CASK. But you wouldn't call it casket.
2 letters off. All right. Well.
All right. I just wanted to,
No.
No one's been nitpicking this on the Discord.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Enough.
Where's Alex on that one?
Not enough. Not enough boozers on that.
Yeah. All right. So he throws a cask of wine.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well,
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
See, this is we got. Oh man, Discord's gonna be all about like the wine now this week.
Yeah. First Evil's upset that he's wasting so much bold-bodied Merlot or whatever. And Caleb's like, why wouldn't you let me fight Buffy? Why'd you make me let Buffy go? I could have taken her. First Evil's like, it's because you're weak right now. And I was like, what? And First Evil,
you see the power level on the screen. It's like a video game, and it's only at 50%.
And the First Evil was like, yeah, your strength is waning. It's been a while since we merged. And Caleb was like, I know we merged a while ago, parent. When are we got to merge again? And then First Evil was like, whoa there, buckaroo. Don't you want to wine and dine me? And I was like, what is this? Why do they got to keep merging? And then they do
the sexual innuendo of it.
Yeah, the ritual and the innuendo, and the First Evil can enter Caleb, and it's going to make him a god. And then they do like the merging ritual where the First Evil reveals its true form, which looks so silly. And then Caleb gets big black eyes, and he's like, oh yeah, I can feel the power now.
And Willow's like, that should be me. That should be me with the black.
It should have been me. Yu-Gi-Oh.
Anime reference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The First Evil says it will be able to enter every man, woman, and child once this is all through. And the first will make Caleb a god. He says this is like a spiritual thing.
We are as gods. We are as gods.
Yeah. And it's not even cool. It's just like a ghost effect, and he goes inside, and then he gets power, and there's no explanation of how much power or what. And they kind of reference the power comes from the first episode or so ago, and now we see it, and it's still like a little too late for this. Like, we introduced all the rules. It can only be dead people. It can't touch stuff. It can't read your mind. Oh, by the way, it can inhabit someone if they really want to, and then give them its power. at that point, we need to just introduce Caleb earlier this season. He's powerful. We don't know why he's powerful. And then it's revealed that he's being powered by the first evil. Then the first evil shows up and you're like, this is bigger than just this priest. It's the first evil powered vessel.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like that would be just a better arc. Because you could start with a killer priest and then do a lot of weird killer priest shit early on and deal with religion and all this stuff, right? But whatever.
Again, I feel like this would be fine if there was 30 episodes, but there's 22 and we're on episode 21.
Yeah. It's like, I guess this can happen.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So then we go back to the Summers home and Buffy just has Faith, who is fully awake now. She's just holding the scythe and she's like, whoa, dude, I can feel the power. I got the power.
Oh, and what is the He-Man thing where he holds up the sword? He's like,
oh, by the power of Grayskull or whatever.
Yeah. She's just wide awake, not injured, perfectly made up.
Well, Vance, she is in bed and her legs are covered. That means she's not doing too good.
They should have put her in the spike wheelchair with the blanket.
Oh yeah,
that's the way. That's how you could tell someone's injured.
Oh yeah,
she's
got to cover up their legs, their polio legs.
They've never let Buffy lie in bed after she gets knocked out. Yeah.
She's alive. She's fully awake. And she's talking about the scythe and she's like, I feel like this fucking thing belongs to me. And then Buffy looks at her like, hey, bitch.
Faith's like, oh, here you go.
Faith's like, you're right. Here you go. I guess it belongs to the Slayer.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then Faith goes, so does this mean that you're back in charge? Buffy's like, I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter, dude.
Yes, it doesn't matter who's in charge. It never has mattered in the grand scheme of the show until now.
Yeah.
I did like Faith's joke about who should be in charge.
Yeah.
She jokes that Chow Ann should be in charge. We get her name again.
Yeah. But Faith feels bad for the whole bomb situation and she's like, I blew it. And it's like, no, actually the bomb did. Buffy's like, no, you didn't blow it, Faith. It's not your fault. Look, dude, I could have run into the same trap. War's about death, and there's needless, stupid death.
This show, it's feeling like it's written during the U.S. at war time.
Oh, yeah. Now it is, yeah. We're getting a lot of, like... I remember, because I was super into, like, punk at this time, and there was, like, a bunch of compilations called, like, Rock Against Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like mega popular in the punk community and like everything, you know, American Idiot was coming out around this time.
Yeah.
Because like this is 2 years removed from 9/11 and we're like, what the fuck are we doing in Iraq, dude?
It's like, it's this weird justification, patriotism, but then also like the question. South Park had such a good episode about like, hey, no, governments go to war and then the people protest the war, and like that's the cycle of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it feels like it's something that it bled into it. It might not have been what they were going for fully, but these speeches, they have never said stuff like this before in 6 seasons before this.
Yeah. Like this is like very,
yeah.
You know, people were, I feel like on Discord, people were like, this isn't a 1-to-1 for the Iraq war, but like it's definitely bleeding into the writing.
Yeah, it's definitely like when they're like,
wars about death, needless, stupid death.
Battles aren't fair. Like just the flag starts floating behind her.
Whip, 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 whip.
We got a little mock-up of that on Discord for a different channel.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so then Faith goes on a whole speech about like, my whole life I've been a loner. I've never had no ties, never had no friends, didn't have any buddies. And she then mentions that she banged Robin. She's like, you know, I've only had friends for as long as they last. And let me tell you, fucking, you know, Robin Wood, P-Dubs, that motherfucker's got some stamina. He put the fucking dick to me, girl. And Buffy's like, whoa, you fucked P-dubs? And Faith is like, yeah, dude, it was wicked good dick.
Yeah. Oh, were you with them? And she's like, no, we're just friends who kind of hate each other sometimes or something.
Yeah. Return enemy. Anyway, what's this all about, Faith? Why'd you even bring that up?
This little moment makes the ending even more strange to me now, actually.
Well, I also, didn't Buffy say like, on my bed or in my sheets or something?
Yeah.
That's when she stands up. Faith's like, don't worry, fucking cream pied me. It didn't go in. We cleaned it.
She stands up. She stands up before she says "in my bed." She's reacted to him, her sleeping with the guy that she kind of liked for one episode. He put the best thing she's ever had in her mouth, and Faith is like, "Same."
Yeah, Faith is like, "Don't worry, Buffy. I didn't let a single drop get on your sheets."
No.
Didn't let a single solitary drop. Sheets are clean, girl. But then Faith's like, yeah, I'm just wicked jealous of you and your friends, dude.
I can't speak for Giles' room, though, because we heard some weird sound. That's why he wants a Jaffa cake. He's got a refuel.
Who knows what was going on to Willow and Kennedy over there? I heard some noises.
And that kitchen, I'd clean that out too.
Yeah, we had to chuck out a whole gallon of ice cream, dude. I heard Kennedy making Willow feel complete. You know what I'm saying?
She's like, I was only gone a day.
The whole house is soiled.
Is that why you kicked me out? So you guys could all bang? Hey, what is it about you, Buff? We were all horned up, and you had that like cock blocker vibe.
Look, I just knew I wasn't going to get summer with you around. I remember when I was down there with Spike, and you came down with your arms all crossed.
I buy that. That's my headcanon. They just kicked her out, so they wanted to bang.
Yeah.
The season makes sense
Buffy.
now. Yeah.
Stuffy Buffy.
House mom Buffy. They had to kick her out.
I mean, she did cock block a lot. She was walking around with her arms crossed like, is this really the time for this? It's like, come on, dude. Anyway. But yeah, Faith is jealous of Buffy and her friends and stuff. Yeah, I never felt so alone, though, when I was leading the potentials. And oh my gosh. Oh my God. That must be what you feel like all the time. It's wicked lonely, dude.
I'm happy Faith's around so we get more of the accent. That's the only reason.
Buffy, oh my God, I understand your loneliness, dude. It's fucking crazy. Look, maybe that's why we can't get along, dude. There's only supposed to be one of us. There's only supposed to be one Slayer. Maybe that's why we can't get along. And then Buffy goes, yeah, also the fact that you turned evil and killed people. And Faith's like, yeah, good point. Good point, dude.
Yeah.
And then Buffy's like, yeah, but you do have a good point. Maybe that is why we can't get along. There is only supposed to be one of us. So then Buffy takes the scythe and kills Faith. There can only be one.
And then she has to just slice down every potential that like magically goes, oh, I'm stronger.
Yeah. Buffy joins the first evil. But then Buffy's talking about how like, well, actually, everybody's technically alone. We're all alone, but being a Slayer, that's just an extra burden that none of them that can ever understand. Then Faith undercuts this by going, thank God we're hot chicks though with superpowers, huh? Buffy's like, yeah, thank God for that.
Yeah. Now, that's the jokiness of the Buffy verse that works. Like, they had a poignant scene. They had the tag at the end. They kind of kept it lighthearted. That works.
Mm-hmm.
Not a Scythe Matters joke over top of a fallen comrade that just got home.
Yeah.
Read the room, guys.
So, Spike returns. He's back at the Summers house. Buffy comes downstairs holding the scythe. Spike is like, whoa, what you got there? That seems fancy. That's a cool, nifty new little weapon.
What a reaction. What a reaction.
He looks, he's like, "Whoa, that's a weapon worthy of ditching a fella," or whatever he says.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, "Yeah, sorry about that."
Buffy's writing a lot of notes.
Shit.
Yeah, Buffy's writing a lot of notes. She's never written this much in her life.
I know. I thought that she was illiterate for a little bit. She's such a dummy.
I don't blame her.
She's a good test taker, though.
Yeah, she nailed the SATs.
Yeah.
She guessed a lot of right answers.
Yeah. But, yeah, Spike is sad that Buffy ditched him, and Buffy's like, "Sorry about that, dude. I just had to go. I had a calling." And Spike's like, "Hey, it's totally fine. I get it. Last night meant nothing. You just needed some warmth and some shelter. Last night was a glitch. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I understand what's going on." And Buffy's like, "Yeah, yes, okay, good. Well, I'm going to go on a mission, and it's a mission that I need to go on alone." And Spike's like, "All right, cool. Go on your fucking mission then. Go on your fucking mission. Of course, you got to be alone for your mission." And Buffy's like, "Well, I need to go find out what the scythe is." And Spike's like, "Yeah, okay, cool. I might go swing by the vineyard and see if Caleb is still sitting tight." And Buffy's like, "Okay, good idea." And then Spike's like, "All right, then I'm going to go do that." And then Buffy follows him, and she's like, "You're a big fucking idiot. You know that? You're a dope." Spike's like, "What? What?" Typical fucking women, huh? Not talking about what they really mean. Not telling you where do you want to eat? Oh, I don't know. Why don't you pick? How about we go here? Oh, I don't want to go there. Oh, how about we go here? Why don't you just tell me where you want to fucking go, lady? Typical woman. This is the part of the boys watching Buffy where we get.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, normally I go, "That is Joe Welke talking," but I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna silently co-sign it.
Yeah.
I had a situation where we were driving, and my wife's like, "Oh, you can put whatever music on, right?" So I'm like, go to the Spotify playlist. I'm like looking for something. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, looking through. She's like, "Oh, what about that?" And then she puts on. I was like, I thought I said I could pick the music, right?
Yep.
And then she's like, No, what are you talking? No, you can pick. And now I go to a different playlist, and then she's like, that one. I'm like, well, you can pick it. I don't really care. No. Yeah. But yeah, it was.
I don't want. No, I don't want any fries. Well, I'm gonna order fries. For me, no, I don't want any fries. Oh, and does she take your fries? Oh boy, she does. Oh, she starts eating half of the. Can I have some fries?
I will say that might be my favorite thing about being a guy is that we will just order the fries, and we won't go through the mental anguish of whether or not we should order the fries, or you order fries and I can have some of them, but I feel guilt-free. There are a lot of perks to being a guy, but that is high level.
I could go to dinner with Vance and I would never, ever expect him to be like, "Can I get some of those fries?" And I would never do that to Vance. I would never do that to another guy.
We would both get fries. We would both get too many fries, more fries than we needed.
Yeah.
But we would never be like, our stomachs. Yeah, we would never go, "All right, I'm going to get a salad. I don't want any." And you get fries. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to eat half his fries anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the high level perk of being a guy.
Yeah. That's one of those ones that you don't ever think about.
Yeah. I feel bad for women having to go through that mental hurdle of that, you know?
Yeah.
They want the fries. Yeah. They want the fries, but they can't order the fries.
Oh, they do. I know. Because they eat mine. Yeah,
I'll say this, I mean, we're in this like waste culture. Don't throw stuff away. They're fries. You can eat some of them and just throw them away. But you won't throw them away because they're fries. And fries are good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you won't get them to go because fries the second day are nasty.
I will say, if you have an air fryer, that really does revive fries.
You have an air fryer?
Yeah, we have a little mini air fryer now.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I never got into the air fryer.
Yeah, it's just a convection. It's just I mean, you and frying. It's not technically frying, Joe. It's more like a convection.
You put any water in there?
I just can't handle all the water bubbling in the air fryer.
Just drink the French fry water after.
That's why women don't want to order the fries. They don't want all that water on their hands.
It's a water weight. Oh, God.
If you don't get this
geez.
reference, listen to Double Meat Palace.
Yeah. Oh, man. But yeah, so anyway, Buffy calls Spike a dope. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? And Buffy's like, look, this scythe, it might be the key to everything. It's important, all right? And Spike's like, yeah, go, all right, go on your fucking mission to figure it out. Like, I don't care. And then Buffy's like, so what, last night was nothing to you? What did you feel about last night? And then Spike goes, you know what I felt about last night? I was terrified. And Buffy's like, geez, you know how to charm a girl. And Spike's like, no, idiot. I was terrified about it because last night was the best night of my life. And it meant the world to me. And Buffy's like, yeah, it meant a lot for me too. Spike's like, no, you don't understand. I've been alive, love, for hundreds of years and dead for even longer or whatever. And I've never been close to anyone until last night. And I just didn't have sex, didn't bone, but I just stayed up all night and I held you and I watched you sleep, and it was the best night of my life. And it terrifies me. And Buffy goes, doesn't have to terrify you. Spike goes, what the fuck does this all mean, Buffy? What does it mean? What are we? What are we? And Buffy gets on her fuckboy shit. She goes, does it have to mean anything? Can't we be just two souls entwined for a night? Be thankful for that? Can't we just be happy and have that one special moment and recognize it was the best night of our lives and then move on and just go on living? Why does it have to? And I was like, is this the exact Parker speech that he gave to Willow or whatever?
Well, it has the same vibes as the speech he gave to her, like, you're the one, Buffy. You know? Yeah. It has the same, like, pump up, I still feel for you. Like, I'll say this, those scenes are acted well by James Marsters. I always feel something, like, it's like, it works. And
no,
again,
he's good at doing that. He's a great the actor wedding, in those scenes.
The wedding scene that he had when he talked to her at the wedding, it's a great scene. You know, like they do these scenes well together. Mm-hmm. Sarah Michelle Gellar is so pouty. She's so pouty. It's amazing. Yeah. And it's something like, he says something about like, you were there, right? Or she's like, oh, you were there? She was like, I was there, calling back the whole, I'm not there, I'm vacant, I haven't been there kind of stuff. I think from last episode and previous stuff that she's talking about.
Yeah, about like feeling detached and stuff.
Feeling detached. So we have that. And it works for what it is, you know? Mm-hmm. They don't put a label on it. They kind of leave at an interesting spot. They don't kiss or anything.
Yeah, they just have like all right, well, you know what? Glad we talked about that. Let's just leave it and go be heroes, because that's what we do. We're heroes. And Spike's leaving.
Not champions?
Vance. Champions is the terminology for another show.
They used it on this show, and it did bleed over into this.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, the terminology bleeds over, and I'm like, no.
No, let's not do that.
No. So anyway. We go to Andrew and Anya at the hospital, and there's oxygen tanks, and they're like, oh, this is a perfect weapon. If somebody gets too close, we can blow up the oxygen tanks like in Jaws. And then Andrew's like, you're the perfect woman, Anya. And I was like, are they going to have them too? That's what I didn't like about this.
I think if you take that element out, because we know that Andrew's not into the ladies, you know, if you take that element out, then you can like get past that. Like I was past that because of my Dawn prediction earlier, in earlier seasons, or earlier episodes. But when she stood up and he's like, you're coming to the hospital with me. And she stood up like, yeah, I am. I was like, wait, are they? Like that did have a vibe of like, he's taking charge and I kind of like this.
Yeah.
Which was weird. Yeah. And then this perfect woman thing. Again, I never fully went on to it because I was like, Andrew wouldn't do that. And we don't have time, and we don't have time for a love triangle between her and Xander, Andrew, and Anya.
Here's what I thought was going to happen in this scene is that Anya was going to throw herself at Andrew, and he was just going to be like, "Ew, what are you doing?" or something. Like, I thought there was going to be that comedic moment.
You thought Andrew was going to throw? You thought Anya was going to throw herself?
Anya was going to throw. Yeah, Anya was going to throw herself at Andrew, and he was going to be like, "Oh, honey, no."
That would be great. And I'd be like, "Didn't you just have sex with Xander like a night ago?"
Yeah.
I really thought in this scene, because they're at the murder hospital, that someone would get murdered.
Yeah, I thought something bad was going to happen too.
Yeah.
But no, they're there and they're looting the hospital for its medical supplies, and they're worried that, hey man, it's going to be bad, isn't it? And Anya's like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Andrew's like, so Anya, I got to ask, why are you still here? And then Anya's like, look, man, I don't really know why I'm here, because I have left before. And Andrew's like, what? She's like, yeah, this was like 2 or 3 apocalypses ago.
I brought that up. We did bring that up. And I like that the show is at least addressing this.
Acknowledging its history, which is something that the show has a good strength of.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, yeah, a couple apocalypses ago, there was an apocalypse. And look, I was shitting my pants and I left because I was worried that bad shit was going to happen. But this time I don't really want to leave, because back then I was kind of new to being around humans and I hated them and I thought they were all fucking stupid and stinky and they were dumb. But now I kind of like humans. And then Andrew's like, really? Why? And Anya's like, well, and then she goes on like a whole speech about like human contradictions, about like, they argue and they bicker constantly and they don't really know what they want and they actively fight against their own interests and they're really dumb. But like the thing about humans though is they never quit, and I appreciate that. And they keep fighting, so I'm going to keep fighting too. And Andrew is like, ooh, sounds like somebody loves humans. And Anya's like, no, I don't. He's like, yeah, you do, fucking nerd. Ooh, you love us. And Anya's like, stop it.
This is the stuff I like. They're like weird side characters that are talking. It's kind of like when Anya and Spike, I think Anya and Spike never got enough scenes, even though they haven't slept together. But like when they were just like buddies commiserating over being former demons, that was fun.
Yeah.
Because they have a bond that, like how Buffy's like, oh, I can't talk to any other Slayer because I'm the only one. And she bonded with Faith until Faith went off the deep end. But it was nice to have someone else that understood. Yeah. And I thought it was like nice when Anya and Spike could talk about like, man, this human shit, right? These people, like, they could talk about stuff from like 100 years ago. And like, I mean, she's been around 1,000. He's been around like 100 or so. Like they could still talk about, it's like hanging out with someone that's from your same generation, talking about the same stuff that you had,
Yeah, or like your hometown.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember that store?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this scene, or I like this speech that Anya gives. Like it's, I've heard it a billion times because it's in media constantly.
Yeah, that's even in another show that we've reviewed.
But she's embarrassed. But then Andrew goes on his little speech and he's like, you know what, I'm going to keep fighting too, but I'll be honest, I think I'm going to die during this battle. And Anya's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm convinced that I'm going to die, but I'm all right with that. I'm all right with it. I'm just going to keep quitting, or I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep quitting till the day I die.
I'll never quit quitting.
Never stop stopping. He hasn't even begun. But he's convinced he's going to die. He's not strong. He doesn't have the willpower like Anya. So he's like, I think I'm going to die. But I'm okay with that. And then they kind of have like a sad moment of acknowledgement. And then they're like, so, while we're here and we've got this at our disposal, want to have a wheelchair fight? And then it just cuts to them like having a wheelchair fight. And I was like, all right.
That's what I was saying earlier. They're the duo we didn't know we needed. It's charming. It's fine. It's harmless. It's fun. I don't know. It's it's like that weird bright spot in the apocalypse, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I was worried, though. I was like, are they going to try and ship them two together in the last 2 episodes?
I do get your concern, just the way the show has been going.
Yeah.
That you're just like, what are we going to do? Like, we just had a bang montage.
I mean, we just had Faith bang P-dubs.
Yeah, so I get it.
And he's just gone.
Yeah. So now it's just like the trauma in this show is now when you see 2 people together, like Xander and Dawn, you're like, oh my God, don't do it.
2 people alone together. Yeah. Just like, oh, and Dawn was standing too close to him. I was like, no. Then Anya standing close to Andrew. I'm like, no.
And Giles is on the bed with the books. And Willow like, Willow, maybe if we just lie in bed together, maybe we can just mind meld this thing together. You know, I always did have a crush on you. I had your picture in a locker.
Did you? Oh, did you now?
I was getting
hot. We get Kennedy in here, and I'll show you why they call me a watcher.
Hit that chair in the corner. From that time that Willow walked through Buffy's mind.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So then we have Buffy walking around a graveyard with the scythe. And this is where I saw her like carrying this around and was like, this doesn't look right.
Did Spike tell her about this? I know she mentioned that the tomb was somewhere. Who?
Dude, Vance, this tomb broke my brain.
Okay.
Because Buffy walks through the graveyard and then she walks into like an ancient Egyptian tomb in the Sunnydale, like an undiscovered as of yet Egyptian tomb. I guess Buffy hadn't leveled up enough to unlock this part of the map before.
It was all like clouded and gray.
Yeah.
On the map.
Just a lock over top of where it was.
It would have been funny if she just had a meta moment where it's like, when did this get here?
Yeah, because there's like this ancient hieroglyphic like eagle on the top of it. It's a pyramid. I was like, what is this?
But they always do that. Like it seems like the mecca of civilization was Sunnydale, California. Like every ancient
when Pangea was still happening, like that's
like every ancient thing is buried in this place.
I mean, I can understand, like they have a bunch of mausoleums and tombs and shit like that. But this one stands out so much in the fact that it's like, number one, it's shaped like a pyramid. It has like an ancient looking bird on it.
I can let this go just for the fact that when Dracula showed up, there were mansions.
But mansions like exist in the modern era. Like this is such a bizarre...
place that it didn't seem like there were mansions. It was like, were these always here?
Yeah, Riley, I think he says like, was that always there?
He's like, oh yeah, I guess the initiative was always underground too. So
this is the beginning of the end for this episode for me, where I was just like, no.
For me, it was like, did Spike kind of mention that, the ancient tombs? Did someone mention the ancient tomb? Like, how did Giles or Willow tell it? Like, she just shows up here, and I know there's something mentioned in the episode.
Well, Giles talks about ancient hieroglyphs and like what they meant in the scythe and all this shit.
But we never get the payoff of them being like telling her. And then I think when she talks to Spike, she says something about like, oh yeah. And he's like, oh, that's the thing that the Caleb was looking for from an ancient. I don't know.
Maybe.
Again, it doesn't matter. I remember it's being mentioned. I just don't know exactly when the two ideas met. Oh, you said something earlier that I thought about during the Spike Buffy scene. She doesn't want him to go with her.
Mm-hmm.
The whole season, she's been keeping him around because she needed him to fight with her.
Yeah, and she also says that he gave her the strength to... I was like, whoa, didn't you just give the same speech to Xander?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, her Her speech.
She did. She was like, you gave me the strength to come on, to go on.
Yeah.
And she literally said, Xander, you're my strength. I couldn't go on without you. Like, it's the same, just worded a little differently.
And then Andrew had said that Xander's the heart of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And then Caleb has told Xander that he sees all, so he's the eyes of the group. Everyone just throwing labels on him, you know? Let's stop.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, you're right. Buffy said strength to both of them. I just didn't understand. The whole season is her being like, hey, Spike, I need you around. I need you for the fight. He's our best fighter. And then it's like, hey, there's a fight coming. Nah, you're good.
Go to him. Well, Giles sent him away on a mission, but yeah, he's been sidelined a lot.
Why can't he walk with you? Having two people would be better than one for this mission.
Yeah. But I think, look, this is why it broke me. So we see Buffy walking through the graveyard with like just regular old headstones and with her fucking Iron Man scythe. And then she turns a corner and it's an ancient Egyptian pyramid. Like, it's so wacky.
Well, remember when the end of last season when they just go to the bluff and there's like a statue that they can run? Like, there's so much random shit. Yeah. Like, that doesn't bother me. What happens in this place, that bothers me.
Yes. So Buffy kicks the door down to this tomb. She walks down. There's a bunch of torches already lit.
That could have been Clem's house, you know, and she's just kicking the door off the hinges.
I know. How rude.
Yeah.
Didn't even knock.
Yeah.
But then Buffy's exploring. There's a bunch of ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and stuff going all around the walls, and there's Egyptian writing, and Buffy's exploring, and then an old woman emerges.
I'm thinking about something else I'm going to say later. That's why I'm laughing, but keep going.
And she's like, it's about time you arrive. And Buffy's like, who are you? And she's like, I am one of many. And now I'm alone in the world. And Buffy's like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you? Who are you? And the lady's like, I've been waiting for you, Buffy. And Buffy's just like, oh, you have? Here's this scythe. Just gives it to her.
What the fuck, dude? Why would you hand over the most powerful weapon to a random person?
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
This could be the first evil.
If it could be a person working with the first evil. Like, the first evil can't technically touch it, but you don't know what this person is. Don't hand him the weapon.
Buffy's never heard of stranger danger.
Yeah, apparently. The Watchers don't teach that, because if they taught stranger danger, you wouldn't be with a Watcher.
Yeah.
Every potential enslayer has that little blind spot where like an older gentleman can tell you whatever.
Yeah. So she gives this lady the scythe, and the woman is like, you found the scythe. We're the ones that put it in the rock. And Buffy's like, cool, what is it? And the lady's like, it's a weapon forged in secrecy for ones like you. And we've kept this weapon hidden from the Shadow Men because we couldn't trust the Shadow Men, because the Shadow Men became the Watchers. And the Watchers are kind of evil. And we created a faction of women who are watching the Watchers. And we are known as the Guardians. And we were formed to protect the Slayers. And I was like, bullshit, dude.
And then she's like, we hid too.
Yeah.
So much stuff is being introduced in this little scene that undercuts the whole entirety of the show in a weird way. Watchers, okay. So I don't love the Shadow Men became the Watchers for two reasons. Really got gentrified.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, gentrified the fuck out of the Watchers. I don't think I've seen a black Watcher. Is there one?
I don't think that I don't know. There was an Indian one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and they
Eastern?
let women be watchers. We've seen female watchers. Just wild that the Shadow Men ended up becoming the Watchers. I could see the Watchers being from like having studied the Shadow Men and taking over the set, kind of like the Bringers are, but not like becoming them. But whatever, this is fine. Thanks for the history.
That was the primitive form of the Watchers.
Yeah. The Watchers who...
You think if Giles saw them, he'd be like, God, what's up with your hair? It's called conditioner.
Yo, that is the... The fact that that's what Buffy did when she met the first Slayer. And then we cut to this season. She's like, I can't believe what you did to that poor woman. You mean like when you saw her and you made fun of her hair? Yeah. We gave her superpowers, but we didn't make fun of her looks.
Yeah.
We tortured her and gave her superpowers against her will, but yeah. And then the Watchers...
You're too weak. You're weak, pathetic men.
Meanwhile, Caleb doesn't want a woman to have superpowers, but the Shadow Men were okay. Were they too afraid to take the power? Or were they okay? You know, I mean, once you go into that, it just starts to get a little confusing of what the Shadow Men...
Yeah. What they represent.
And do we need Slayers? Like, would the world be over if they... Because this lady mentions like, oh, before you, we forged this weapon and it to destroy the last evil demon on... Yeah,
to kill the last pure demon who walked the earth.
Yeah, and then all the other demons went underground, I guess.
Yeah. My note here says, then history happened.
And then man came, and then the Slayer. Like,
yeah.
All the Slayers weren't even in Sunnydale. She's the first Sunnydale Slayer.
Yeah.
But it seems like there needed to be a Slayer in Sunnydale constantly.
Yeah. And also this lady, she mentioned, she's like, Buffy's like, geez, how old are you? And she's like, let me just say, I look good for my age. I've been around for a long, long time. So it seems like she's like some kind of mystical being, something.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, she's like, we're a bunch of women. We're the Guardians. We want to help and protect Slayers. And that's why we made this weapon and hid it away and all that shit. And then Buffy goes...
I'm like, a couple seasons ago, you could have probably given me this weapon.
I know, right?
I really could have used it against Glory.
When I was fighting a hell god. Anyway.
Could this kill the mayor who became invincible? I don't know.
The Ascension?
Yeah.
This ancient thing that scared Anya so bad that she left town?
Could this kill Adam? He was kind of a hybrid demon robot.
I think Adam she could get on her own. That's fine.
She had to enact for Slayer powers to punch that guy.
She had to Voltron with Xander and Willow to get the first... Yeah, that's true.
Could this kill Warren?
I think so, yeah.
And his robot army.
Yeah.
His Buffy bot army.
Buffy, much like the boys of Boys Watching Buffy, goes, how's it possible that we didn't know any of this was happening? Wait, how the fuck have you been around? How does nobody know about any of this? And the Guardian.
Do you remember that Giles can go into and talk to an oracle about the future?
He can talk to the fates, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to bring that up because that's something that happened.
Well, the Guardian says, well, the reason why you didn't know about any of this is because we were your last big surprise. So then balloons come, party streamers. Surprise, Buffy!
Buffy, it's your birthday.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a Buffy birthday episode.
No.
But she was like, yeah, we remained hidden, and the scythe that you have, this is a powerful weapon. And then Buffy's like, all right, cool. And then the Guardian goes, but Buffy, you already have weapons. It's like, what?
It's like,
and then she goes, but you got to use the scythe wisely because the end is truly near. And then two hands reach from behind the Guardian and snaps her neck. And it's Caleb who snuck behind her. And he goes, oh, did she say that the end is near or that the end is here? Commercial break.
Is there another entrance? I guess there's like multiple entrances to this thing.
Dude.
Especially later. I mean, what a random information dump of like stuff. I'm like, is any of this real? Who is this lady? Her neck is broken. That's shocking. But I don't know who she is or what.
And also, how could any of the information that you just gave play into anything that happens after? Or
why is she giving vague information?
Right? And all the information that she's giving, like I said, like it doesn't, I can't imagine it playing into anything. And it's stuff that we already know. Like we know that the scythe is like, we kind of have a hint that it's like a Slayer only weapon.
Okay, yeah, the shadow men becoming the Watchers is like, oh, that's interesting. Good thing there's only like a couple left. Like,
yeah.
Doesn't matter. Like at this point.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And then it's the Guardians. And it's like, unless all of the Guardians show up in the next episode, who gives a fuck?
It's like they wanted to have the Shadow Men. The Shadow Men are the bad guys. And then they wanted to introduce these female good guys. But they don't do anything with the female good guys.
Yeah.
They like, oh, we made this weapon and we hid it for a while. And then a priest in the first evil stole it. And we didn't even try to look for you. At least... It's been 7 years as you've been the Slayer, and we were created to help and protect Slayers. But we thought that you didn't really need us until maybe now. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. You haven't done.
The
Guardians might be worse than the Watchers.
Yes, because they didn't even find Buffy. Buffy found them.
Yeah.
They didn't lead Buffy down this path so that they would discover the axe. They didn't like throw any breadcrumbs this whole season that like, hey, there's a powerful weapon. There's a powerful weapon. Nothing.
Dude, they talk all this nonsense about like, yeah, we were supposed to, like the Watchers, they're the patriarchy and we were going to help. You haven't done fucking shit.
Yeah. At least they have books that say this demon does this.
Yeah.
Like at the bare minimum, at least they have a compendium of like demons and what they do.
The Watchers
and spell
the Watchers
books.
aren't great, but at least they're around.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, you Guardian nonsense.
Oh, we made this axe thing. We're not gonna in this scene. I'm not gonna tell you how it works or why it's super powerful or what it's made out of.
And I will hint that you already have weapons.
So why did you need to make
be like
this?
Her friends or whatever.
Yeah, but then why does the axe matter?
It doesn't.
Like you can't.
None of this matters.
You can't introduce the axe last episode. This episode be like, I think this is important, and then at the end of the episode be like, but it's not the most important thing. So why did you make it and hide it for so long?
Dude, I just the whole dialogue around it is like, oh, the Shadow Men are evil and they became the Watchers, so you gotta watch out. The Watchers are bad because the Shadow Men are bad, and we created ourselves to protect women. And they haven't done fucking anything to help Buffy at all.
There have been two. I will never get that there was two Slayers at the same time for what seems like the first time in history in Sunnydale. And the Watchers didn't show up with extra people. They just sent Wesley and we're like, that's cool. Like, Travers didn't show up. They didn't like bring a whole study crew to be like, what the fuck is going on? There's two Watchers. Or two Slayers, and then the Guardians didn't show up. The Shadow Men have just been chilling. You know, if you don't go through that Shadow Men portal, they don't do anything else. Like, that's original sin level stuff, you know?
And again, I'm all for, stories about, like, smash the patriarchy and shit like that. But you have to do it right, and it has to make sense. And this makes no sense. Like, they're talking like we're just here to protect women, and they didn't do it at all throughout this entire series. They have done fuck all.
They said they watched the Watchers. I'm like, did you see when Buffy quit the Watchers like 3 seasons ago?
They saw that happen. And they were just like in their tomb going, yes, queen. Yes. Yes, girl. Quit them bitches. Fuck them with their dicks and everything.
Well, what are they doing? They made a weapon that they didn't even have access to. Buffy brings it to them.
Buffy killed herself. Buffy killed herself. And the Guardians could have given her this weapon beforehand to kill Glory, but they just watched Buffy jump through a demon portal and go, yes, bitch. Yes, serve cunt, girl. You are doing it.
You know what I would have liked better? If she just would have went down in a tomb and it would have been like a museum and it was just playing a projection on loop of a history of Shadow Men and Guardians and Watchers, and she just sits there and watches it. Like how Captain America goes to the museum and just watches his own history playing on.
There's just like a popcorn machine in the corner, and Buffy grabs one.
So I'd rather just have her watch this instead of introducing a new character that I have so many questions about, but none of that matters now because we got to keep moving. With
one episode left.
And she dies
again,
immediately.
like I said.
And she dies immediately. She was the last one, right?
I think she says that she might be one of the last ones. I don't know if I can't say for certain if she said that.
Is she?
But it seems kind of like that.
Is she not human?
Dude,
is she not
that's
human?
That's what I'm saying is she just got her neck snapped by Caleb.
Buffy couldn't do shit against the Shadow Men. She beat them all up, but they were like, all right, chill. You know, they knocked her out. Like, he was like, I can show you some shit. Like, touch Buffy's head and show her some shit or something.
Dude, it's such nonsense.
It's vague.
Nonsense.
So vague too. Like,
it's so
you
vague
have
and
the
cryptic.
weapon. Just tell me the thing.
Yeah. Oh, and I get the symbolism of like we're here to protect women, and Caleb is like misogyny embodied, and he kills her. And
but we did that better last season.
Yes.
With Warren.
Yes. Yes.
That
just
was better.
A human.
That was
it
better.
Was so much better.
They literally crushed his balls.
That is, I will never understand how that's not a more iconic moment.
I just think it works for that misogyny angle, and they told it well, and it was fine. It perfect. And then even the switch to Willow being bad at the end was justified based off of what happened. And I was like, that tracks.
Yeah.
This, I'm like, she got a new weapon, and now someone's telling her she doesn't need the weapon.
Yeah, because she already has weapons, but it is a powerful weapon. You gotta use it wisely.
Yeah, but you also don't need it.
Oh, use it wisely? Should I give it to Giles to swing around like a little fucking idiot?
Wee.
I was so enraged when this info dump happened. I was like, what? There's one episode left. And there's a whole other female Watchers faction that hasn't done shit this entire series.
Are they still trying to spin off the Watchers show? Or were they like, oh, we're going to do a Watchers spinoff, and that got canceled. So fuck the Watchers. They all suck. They're the worst people ever. I'm like, one of the Watchers lives in our house.
Yeah. Dude, again, if there's 5 episodes left, maybe this could be all right. But there's 1 episode left. This is too much.
Yeah, they've been introducing a lot of stuff late in the show.
Yes.
Like, we just found out where Slayers come from this season, and now we're learning about Shadow Men being the origin of the Watchers. And that there's a guardian, and they're female guardians that made a secret weapon.
We also just, for the first time, saw Caleb merge with the first evil and see exactly where it was hinted at.
Yeah.
But now we actually see where he gets his power from. Dude,
it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It's a lot. But yeah, man, I could rant about this whole Guardians thing. It would be the same rant.
I know.
Over and over and over. I just don't get it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's because I want more answers from it or because I don't want to hear any of it.
Yeah. And then Caleb just snaps her neck. She's like being all coy about like, I've been around for a long, long time and I've been waiting for you forever. And it's like, and she's susceptible to neck breaks?
Yeah. Well, all demons are apparently. So
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, I guess the demon that only lived in dreams was susceptible to neck breaks too. So that tracks. But like,
amazing that like a demon that doesn't even have a neck. You can snap its neck.
And like, I'm sorry, people like Discord, but like, you gotta understand where we're coming from. I feel like when we talk about stuff we don't like, we give our reasons.
Yeah, that's why we ramble on, because we try to figure out like what, like we're working through the thought process of.
Yeah, and we try to attack it from every angle about like why we think it doesn't work, and if there's some crumb of like maybe this could work, I think we give it enough grace. But this, it just is so crazy to me.
And this is what's interesting about Discord is like when we say this, we don't know if people are going to like be like, yeah, it didn't make any sense either. Or if people are going to be like, oh, you just don't get it because this is this and this. And they had 18 comics and then they did this and this.
Dude, I swear to God, if they if they bring up a comic or a novelization that came out, I'm out. I'm done with this comics. It's explained in the comics.
Yeah.
Explain it in the fucking show.
Yeah.
Which I guess they did, where they were like, oh, we've just been hidden. Haven't been doing shit.
It's not
satisfying. We were here to protect women. We're the good guys. Fuck you, you are. You left me with these fucking misogynist watchers that you hate, the shadow men that tried to rape me with a demon, and you just let that happen?
And you wrote a message in a church that Caleb saw that was run by a bunch of like male priest or whatever, and it said it is for her only and not for man, whatever that thing said. You guys wrote that and put it up on a wall. And they found it there, didn't he? He found it from there and took it.
Yeah, Caleb saw that and then Spike saw it, yeah.
So you guys weren't even watching over the thing that you made. It was hidden with another church full of men, it seems like.
Where were you when Kendra got killed?
They didn't give a shit about Kendra.
Yeah. Where were you when Faith was going crazy? Where were you? Where were you?
What are you? No, what are you?
What are you? Where are you? We know why you are, but you are not good at that.
Wait, what? Yeah. Let's move on. Let's just move on.
It's hard to move on because it's just opened up a whole can of worms, man.
Yes, it opens up. And I will say that I know I've asked for the show to explain some stuff. And then I feel like every time they explain stuff, I have more questions than I had before.
But here's the thing. We weren't even asking for this to be explained.
No, I just needed her to like swing the axe and then it's like, oh, I get it. That's it.
Yeah. Like I could, you know what? She could grab the scythe and then have like a mind trip of like, the first Slayer using some other Slayer using it and just instinctively know, oh, this is a Slayer weapon passed down through the generations. I'm fine with that.
Her and Faith could touch it at the same time and like mind meld or something.
Yeah, like have one of Buffy's dream states where like they're both in the same dream or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, little sis is coming. Remember that?
Yeah.
Who's the cat? Is the Guardian the cat?
I think I know who the cat is.
No.
But I'll have to save that.
But this Guardian thing, dude. Fuck off. I'm upset about it. Like that. I'm upset. It really upset me.
It's an unnecessary introduction to something that you're just going to kill off. To me, this is exactly like the bomb at the end of the last episode. Oh no, someone's going to they're going to get blown up. The episode starts. No, they're all fine. A couple people you never knew about anyway are dead. It's like, so what's the point of the bomb then?
Dude, and I swear if Buffy goes back home or whatever and says to Giles, hey, I talked to this woman. She was a Guardian. You know anything about that? And Giles goes, I actually may have heard of something. No, you didn't.
Kick him out the window. No, you didn't. Kick him out the window if he says some shit like that. Because season 5, you said, I want to learn about Slayers. And that motherfucker didn't teach you shit.
Dude.
That's the only reason he stuck around that season. He was going to leave because he's an abandoner.
Yeah.
Worse than Buffy's dad.
All right. I think I'm ready.
Okay.
To move on.
All right.
So then we have Xander driving with Dawn, and they're in some remote location. Dawn wakes up, and Dawn's like, where are we? What happened? What's going on? And Xander's like, look, I chloroformed you. And Dawn's like, what? Why? Where are we going? And Xander's like, we're going away here. Open this envelope. It explains everything. Dawn's like, okay. She opens it. It's a letter from Buffy that's like, Dawn, I love you too much. I can't have you in danger. I'm sending you and Xander away, and I need you to be protected. I said that I would show you the world, and I did a real bad job at that, so I'm just going to
fucking lie. What a lie she wrote in that note, lying about showing Dawn the world. She's like, yeah, you're going to go on a little mini road trip with Xander.
Yeah. You're going to go to Palmdale.
Yeah. That's the whole world. You'll get it all.
Yeah, I'll send you to Palm Springs. I booked a nice resort. Have a pina colada on me.
Buffy, you haven't seen the world.
Dude.
You know what's crazy? I could have swore that Buffy was going to go to London to meet with the Watchers at some point in this series.
I feel like in season 4's recap episode, I predicted that there was going to be a Slayer Abroad fun episode where they go to Hawaii or something. Or
yeah,
Disneyland
you did predict like they would just go to some other place.
Yeah, and they never did.
Did she never? The furthest she's gone is Los Angeles when she was running away.
But that wasn't even in this series.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Does Buffy go to Los Angeles and
Anne?
You're right. Anne, yeah.
She takes a couple trips in the Angel series, but yeah, she definitely goes away and goes to hell. I guess hell's the place that she's been. She's been to heaven and hell.
Yeah,
that's more than most people can say. And the Shadow Realm. I mean, she's traveling. I wouldn't consider it the world. If you
count the desert of the first Slayer, yeah, she's gone someplace. That fucking infinite wasteland of nothingness. But whatever. But yeah, Xander's like, yeah, Buffy wanted us to go away. She made me promise not to tell you. She wanted us to go away. So I obliged, but it's because she loves you. And she asked me to do this. And look, I don't want to be leaving either, but this is just what we got to do. And then Dawn's like, interesting. How about I taser you?
While you're driving.
Yes.
I just thought about this right now. I did not think about this while I was watching it. Dawn just keeps the taser on her?
I guess so. And it's not like one of the, I mean, this is like a big, full taser.
Yeah. She goes right up to his neck.
Yeah. And he just passes out.
Yeah.
And then Dawn grabs the steering wheel, pulls the car over, brakes, and then starts driving from the driver's seat. She must have like her hand on his foot and just...
She must be the strongest person because Xander's not lightweight.
Yeah.
Moving dead weight is hard, and moving him over to the passenger side would mean like getting out of the car, pushing him, lifting one leg up, another leg. I get it. You don't have time to do it. Very nitpicky, not a big issue. But it's just like, it's no way this girl from the passenger seat swapped seats that easily.
Yeah.
She's just sitting on his lap and driving.
Oh, like a little kid. Xander wakes up. Am I dreaming again? Am I having that dream again? Oh, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dawn turns the car around because she's going back.
Hey, Dawn, Buffy won't choose you.
Yeah. So then we go back to Buffy and Caleb. And Caleb, with his newfound first evil strength, is just beating the shit out of Buffy. But the scythe is kind of helping Buffy.
She's not avoiding the punches like she was before.
I know. Hey, Buffy, don't get hit.
Keep the same strategy you had before, but then swing the axe every now and then.
Yeah. Like she came into the vineyard last episode like, bet you can't fucking touch me. I dare you to try and hit me. And then Caleb just can't. Maybe it's because he was weak.
Or it's the video game logic. She's carrying a heavy axe and it lowers her agility.
Oh, okay. I'll accept that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But the scythe is kind of helping Buffy. And like they're getting their licks in. Like Caleb's hitting her, she's hitting him.
Oh, when he throws her against the wall.
Dude, Caleb then turns the tide and he just starts wailing on her. He kicks her up against the wall and then he kicks her up against the wall again.
Yeah.
She falls to the ground. He takes the scythe and Buffy takes it back. And she almost stabs him with it, and he dodges. And then Buffy's like at one point on the ground, and he's just like full mount, just beating the fuck out of her. Like, and it looks pretty rough, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking bad.
There's a couple hits that don't look like they connect, and a weird kick angle. But other than that
kick, I know exactly the kick that that kick
I was like,
bad.
What is that? Yeah.
He does like a mule kick or something, and it just looked real off.
Yeah. And there's like one like backhand that like it doesn't hit, and it's like a delayed sound effect from it. But you know, whatever. That's fine.
But then he takes Buffy, picks her up, and he throws her into a pillar, and the pillar starts to move, and it's like, oh no, this is the end. And then he takes the scythe and he gets it, and Buffy's on the ground, and he's about to chop down on Buffy and end it. But then he hears, "Hey," which is enough to distract him from killing his arch enemy.
He gets punched.
No. Oh. He hears "Hey,"
okay,
and then turns around before finishing the job, and then gets punched.
Yeah.
And who's there but Angel? Heroic shot. Angel punches Caleb, and it like really affects him. Like, Angel is really strong.
He's a champion.
He is a champion. And then he looks at Buffy as she's on the ground, and they reconnect. He picks her up, and he's like, "Yeah, good to see you." And Buffy's like, "Good, wow, Angel, you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Good to see you too." And Angel's like, "Let's take care of this guy together." And Buffy's like, "No, I'm going to finish this myself." And Angel's like, "You always were a fan of finishing yourself," or whatever he says.
I don't know if he makes a sexual innuendo, but there's something. They joke around. When they were having this conversation, I was like, please keep your eye on Caleb, because he has the axe that has the sharp wooden stake part. I'm like, are they going to kill Angel in this series?
Dude.
I was like, what are you guys doing? They're having a full conversation. The guy's not knocked out or anything.
Right? So then Angel just posts up against a pillar, crosses his arms, starts watching Buffy and Caleb fight. And Caleb's got the scythe, and he's got the pointy part, and he's going to go stab Buffy with it. And Buffy gets the axe back. They're fighting back and forth a little bit. And then she just cuts Caleb across the stomach with the scythe. And Caleb is like, that wasn't no thing. Oh boy, I feel a little lightheaded. And he falls to his knees, and then he falls over. And then I wrote, Caleb falls over, ... dead?
Yeah, I had that feeling, because Angel's just posted up commenting like, I miss watching you fight.
Yeah, he's like, I never get tired of watching this. I'm like, what is this?
I wrote in my note, none of this feels real.
Yes, my note says Angel smirks on while Buffy fights.
And then when Caleb gets cut, I'm like, oh, the axe is going to kill him, because he acts like it didn't kill him. And then he falls, and it's like he's dead. And I was like, wait, what? That kind of anticlimactic, it seems.
Yep. And then Angel walks over to Buffy. Buffy drops the scythe. Clang, clang, clang. And then they kiss. And I was like, no.
And it's it's something out of a romance novel, the way it's framed.
And the music too that's swelling is like this like super hyper romance. Like the heroes have triumphed over evil, and they kiss. And I was like, after all I've seen in the Angel series,
after what I've just seen in this series.
Yeah, after what I've seen a scene 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
This happens?
We just got to say the last part, because then we can really dive in.
Yeah, and then the camera pans over to Spike, who has been in the shadows watching this. And the first evil, as Buffy emerges and says to Spike, "That bitch." And that's the end of the episode. And I was like, Is this the first evil being both Angel and the first evil Buffy fucking with Spike's head?
But Buffy wouldn't be able to kiss.
Oh, yeah, and Angel wouldn't be able to hit. Oh, I guess if
he wouldn't be able to hit Caleb.
No, I could be like Caleb was acting.
Yeah, that was my thing. Like, because none of this feels real.
But yeah, you're right. He wouldn't be able to kiss Buffy.
So I was wondering. I'm like, is all of this happen now? Kind of a prediction thing. It's like, is all of this happening? Is none of what we just watched real? The Caleb Buffy
like
Angel thing.
The Guardian Angel Buffy.
The Guardian thing, fine, maybe. No, yeah, let's even wipe that up. No, what I'm just saying, we'll skip the Guardian and just say the Caleb fighting Buffy and Angel coming in to save never happened. This is all just a projection that the first evil is putting into Spike's mind. Like how you were like, how this whole thing even exists down here. Maybe this is all a show to trick Spike into turning against Buffy.
Is this the trigger that the first evil was waiting on?
Yeah, it's like, it's not your time yet.
Yeah.
But if it's that, it's like there's so many other ways to have killed Buffy than to like have Spike do it. And it's fine if you're just like a Joker-esque villain, right? And you just want to sow chaos and you enjoy pitting her against people. But the first evil didn't even do the whole getting Buffy kicked out of the house thing. Like Buffy got beat up and that getting kicked out of the house thing does not feel like that was the first evil's plan. And if it was, it didn't work because it took 2 days for her to get back in the house. It doesn't make sense for me, logically, for Buffy to see Angel and then just immediately kiss him and just already be back to their flirty banter.
And again, I mean, if you're watching this and you haven't been watching Angel, I could see it being like, oh, okay.
No, I can even see this being like, yeah, if you're watching this, I could see Angel's point of view of this. He sees Buffy. He always just kisses her whenever he sees her. Buffy would not just kiss Angel. We've seen Buffy see Angel and not kiss him.
No, I don't think Angel would.
I don't think any of this would happen the way it happens. Like, I don't think the two of them would just. He would show up, watch her kill a bad guy that he thinks is at a level that he needs to help her, then be like, I probably don't need to help you. I'm just hanging out. And then they both kiss. None of that tracks. You're right. None of them would do that.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. And it does feel like a fever dream. Like there's no there. And after everything we've seen in Angel, like this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I feel like this is, and Angel is connected to this because Faith came from there and Willow went there and came back. So the worlds exist at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they were like, hey, there's a bunch of Spuffy fans and Bangle fans, and we got one episode left. Let's give them a little taste of something. I don't think the last episode should be like this weird love triangle nonsense with Spike and Angel and Buffy.
Yeah.
They just killed Caleb. It's crazy. Caleb's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. I guess if this is real. If we're taking this as real, because it's so mind-blowing. It just didn't feel real.
It didn't. No, you're right.
So if this is real, she killed Caleb. The first evil is still around and is still like taunting people.
I just cannot accept the ending of this episode.
Buffy wouldn't kiss Angel after what that moment she just had with Spike.
Yes, she's talking about like how it meant so much to her and all this stuff and how she needs Spike and he gave her all this strength. And then she sees Angel and she's like, oh my God, my real one true love. Like, this doesn't make sense.
And I could see like some Discord pushback of like, hey, when you have that like crush that you always had and they show up. And I'm like, I'm not buying that on this because they've gone through that. They've gone through those motions already. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like this is the first time they've seen each other.
Yeah.
And I know we don't know when
her mom died or whatever.
Yeah. And he showed up. He showed up after the mom died. And then after she died, he showed up too. And that was in a comic book.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They had that conversation that that nobody wanted to talk about on the next episode.
Yeah.
I think it's best to leave that to the imagination until we write a comic book about it.
That comic is just like the sex montage for like 30 pages. They just bang it. But yeah, it was so cliffhangery that again, it felt like they were just throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall here.
I'm
holding out hope that this isn't real. I'm holding out hope that this isn't real.
This is a lose-lose though, because if it isn't real, then I'm like, fuck you. What is with all this like, cliffhanger fake nonsense that you're showing me?
Mm-hmm.
And if it is real, then it doesn't make sense because based off of everything Buffy was talking about with Spike and based off of everything Angel has gone through in the series. Like, I don't want to spoil what's going on because you have to pay for that. It's for patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy.
It's a character. It's a character thing. And the Angel episode we're going to do is the season 4 finale this week.
Yeah.
But
it's just after everything that's gone on in Angel, especially this season and the end of last season.
Oh, yeah. None of this tracks character-wise.
It doesn't make sense. It's not good. So if it isn't real, I guess that's better. But I don't like that. I don't like getting faked out like that.
And it's and it would be a convoluted plan to like now get Spike on your side, which you've already had on your side before, and that didn't work.
Yeah.
And you had Caleb, who was super strong.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't make sense to be like, hey, Caleb, go fight this girl with the axe now. Like, didn't the first go, hey, let her go and fight her when her back's turned? And instead of that, he just shows up when she has the weapon in her hand. And there's some time during that fight where she drops the weapon and he doesn't even go for it. And it drove me crazy. I'm like, I thought that was the thing that you wanted all this time. Isn't that the whole, like, you're upset, you killed a whole church full of men to get this thing, like, you are mad that she can wield this power. And then he picks it up, and he's swinging it just fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's Thor's
hammer. It's not
hammer.
like Thor's hammer at all.
The troll has a stronger weapon. Yeah, Willow's holding it, Giles is swinging it around. Hey, Andrew, you want to play with this?
I just don't like it, man. I don't like where this episode left off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the Guardians. I don't like
this kiss. This kiss is just this kiss, and
disgusting.
Seeing Spike,
I hate it.
And Spike, who must have snuck down in the same way Caleb came in. How is everyone in this place?
I don't know. Like the camera pans even more, and it's Principal Wood.
Yeah,
he's behind. Like, he's behind against this.
yeah. And then Faith is behind him.
Yeah, Principal Wood's like, I vote you give me that coat back, Spike.
Faith's like, nah, B, you can't do that, B.
I don't like it.
That's messed up, B. And that's why I said my opening thought 2 hours ago with this episode is like, what are they doing with Buffy?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Like,
yeah,
Buffy can't do this. Buffy can't kiss Angel here.
No. I hate it.
It's not even like a victorious, oh my God, we barely survived and like we accidentally kissed kind of thing. It's one of those get over here action comedy endings.
Yeah. No, they had the romantic music swell. And it doesn't feel real.
And now I'm supposed to be like, oh, now Spike's going to be really mad again. Like, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch Spike mad again.
That was the whole season. There's one episode left.
That was the whole season.
Episode left.
The whole season we dealt with him being like a threat.
I can't.
People say this series ends well.
I can't imagine how.
Joss Whedon's going to write the finale, I'm sure, and it's going to have...
Yeah, it's written and directed by him.
Yeah. His episodes are usually pretty solid.
I'm worried. I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like where it's at. It left a very sour taste in my mouth. I texted Vance after I was done watching it. I said, Buffy is atrocious.
I just haven't liked what they've done with her character this season. They wanted to kick her out of the house for which turned into one thing. I thought last season they did a good job of, hey, she's been ripped from heaven, just she hates everything, she's distant, all that stuff. I was like, that's all done well, and it makes sense for someone who just experienced the most happy thing ever and now has to like go through just the pain of life and being a slayer and like, help me, Buffy. Like, she came back to life. She watched a Buffy bod of herself get ripped apart and then had to save Dawn from the same tower she had leaped from. That was her introduction back into the world. Yeah, that might fuck you up a little bit. So that's fine.
And then the next episode, she had bills out the wazoo. Yeah. Buffy, how are we going to pay this? What?
Don't bring me back to do bills. Yeah, so that I understand her distance and hating being there. This season, I don't know. They're just making her make bad decisions for bad decisions' sake so that everyone can get mad at her. And it's just, I feel like it's not what, it's an extreme version of little stuff from her character.
Yep. Yeah, man. You got anything else to say? I mean, we talked this episode into the ground.
Let's get to these predictions.
The last predictions of Boys Watching Buffy. Next episode is titled Chosen.
I'm thinking
they have a lot. Dude, they have a lot to wrap up. We have to see what Joyce meant with like Buffy wouldn't choose you. Mm-hmm. We have to see what Cassie meant when it was like, oh, one day she'll tell you to Spike. Now we have to see if the Guardians are anything in this episode.
Probably
we have to see if this is like the trigger for Spike, that the plan that the first evil had this whole time. Mm-hmm. And if any of this is even real.
Everything is going according to plan. That will, I won't like that. If this has been the big plan, it's way too convoluted.
Yeah. This is the last time we're predicting an episode of Buffy. This is wild, man. And I'm in such a bad mood after this episode that I'm like, I don't even give a fuck. I don't care. I don't know what's going to happen.
With the title Chosen, I'm like, oh, we might get a new Slayer.
Yeah.
But
that with everything Faith has to die.
But everything I learned, everything we just learned with this whole Shadow Man Guardian thing throughout the season, it seems like we shouldn't have another Slayer. But at the same time, the world needs a Slayer to save it. So I don't think we need a Slayer. Because you know what? Apocalypse happen in other shows and they get saved by other people.
Yeah.
Like Xander stopped the school from blowing up himself. He stopped an apocalypse with his voice. He was inside Buffy during the Adam thing. That wasn't fully an apocalypse, but it could have been really dangerous. So, I think people can. I think if we get the initiative, I'm sure the initiative has stopped a couple weird apocalypse shit. So
that we haven't even seen on the screen.
It's a big planet. It's a big world. Buffy's only in Sunnydale. So,
dude, yeah. Xander has stopped 2 apocalypses himself. The school one from the Zeppo, and he talked Willow with the yellow crayons down.
The school one's tricky because he stopped the school from blowing up that would have let the Hellmouth open. So it was like he helped save, but it wasn't like him stopping the apocalypse. He like helped stopping it. Like, cause they did the apocalypse spell in the library that was happening. So if it wasn't for them trying to blow up the school, he wouldn't technically. It's a 1.5. But I mean, he's been there for a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that he'd be by Buffy's side for the end. Bro, you've been there like 6 times already. You're good.
Yeah, no, he's going to be there again.
Yeah.
He's going to wake up and be like, oh, shit.
He got his wish.
And then Buffy's going to yell at him for failing.
Yeah. Dawn, when did you get a taser? I'm going
to predict that this is all somehow the first evil's plan, and I don't like it. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel real to me.
Here's a wild one. I'll predict that Buffy becomes a Guardian.
Okay,
She's going to redo the Guardians and protect the next Slayer.
She's like, I like their hair.
Their hair was a lot better than that. Fuck it.
And she looked great for her age, and I'm all about that. I'm all about looks.
I'm gonna. I'll predict this. We're gonna open the episode with Buffy and Angel kissing, and then Buffy's gonna pull away and go, "Wait, what are we doing? We can't be doing this."
If
Vance just shook his head violently.
If that happens, that is 2 episodes in a row. We end on a cliffhanger that just gets undercut immediately at the beginning.
Well, it'll be undercut too if this has all been fake.
At least it'll be like, if that's fake, at least it's for Spike's purpose. Like the kiss makes no sense character-wise. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
if she has a kiss, she's like, "Oh my God, what are we doing?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't know why we did that."
I'm going to predict that it is real, but Spike is going to accept it and be okay with it and is going to be sad about it, but he's not going to get all violent.
You know what? Angel kissing Buffy does track with this season of Angel because he's been kissing a lot of people.
Bro. He really has been.
Yeah. So maybe he just has if they pull away and he goes, "I'm sorry, I've been kissing a lot of people," I'll give it a pass. That's the only pass I'll get.
I'm going to predict that Spike is fine with it, and then Buffy sees how mature Spike is. No way. He's going to be sad. He's not going to go flip out and be evil, though. I don't know what to fucking predict, man. I don't know. None of this makes any sense. It's impossible to fucking pick something.
I think there's going to be a new Slayer, and I think this stuff was a plan of the first evil.
Here, do you think Buffy's going to die in this episode?
I don't care. I really...
Whoa! He doesn't care, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, she has died multiple times. I'm sorry.
Xander will just bring her back.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
And Xander making that reference, I'm like, you know how traumatizing that was for her? I was like, she should have grabbed him and said, "Don't you ever joke about that again." And he's like, "Please don't joke about my eye." And they're like, "Deal."
Or at least come up with an original joke. Don't give me that eye of the beholder.
I know I was really pissed off about losing my eye like 2 days ago, but I'm over it now. Don't joke about taking Buffy from heaven. Oh, man. Yeah.
That is a wrap for End of Days, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Hop on Discord.
Hey, you got a long episode, listeners. You love the long episode,
boy,
but was it worth it?
Yep. Hop on Discord. Join our Patreon. Patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. We're doing Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies, Joe's Fashion Report /Corner. Follow Instagram at Boys Watching Buffy. Gmail is boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. Look out for those polls that we're going to be releasing. If you want to get one last shout out, this is your last opportunity for Buffy.
Yeah,
Apple Podcasts.
We'll probably give some shout outs on the bonuses if they still trickle in,
Apple Podcasts, 5-star rating review. Spotify, 5-star rating. Screenshot it, send it into us. Amazon wishlist. Vance still waiting on that Nintendo Switch.
Yep. What are you waiting on, Joe? Is there anything on the wish list?
There's a couple of Buffy t-shirts on there that are pretty sick. Still haven't gotten the Oculus. I don't even know if the Oculus is on there yet.
I think it's still on there. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I mean, we've added that stuff so long ago. It's almost there being new levels of stuff.
Yeah, there's dust on there.
You know what? Message us and tell us if there's something you want us to put on the Amazon wish list.
Yeah. Let us know if you're like, I think that you guys need this.
Yeah.
If you say the comic books, I'll slit my own throat.
You're so anti-comic book now.
You were into it. You were into reading it. Yeah, I was open to reading. Yeah. I was open to reading the comic books, but then too much of the story of the show is explained in the comic books, and it's like you need to read the comic to understand what happened here. That is bad writing.
Sometimes
I hate that.
Like Yeah, the comic should be like a little in-between stuff that like doesn't really matter, side stories. Like there's some of that. But apparently there's more seasons of the show and comics afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm okay with letting the finale be the finale for me.
Me too. Yeah, especially if it's of the same level of enjoyment as End of Days.
But we might do that Audible thing that came back.
Slayers, the
Slayers.
Audible thing.
Yeah.
That was something that we were thinking about, toying about doing, which that'd be fun.
Yeah, that might be on here. That might be on Patreon. We'll see.
Yeah. Look, I'd be down to do the comics if, like the season 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 or whatever, because that's a continuation of the story. That's fine with me. I
don't want to do I will do a side mission. I will do side mission comics.
See, I hate the side missions.
But like the ones that don't affect the main stories. Like, okay, Buffy's in high school.
Those are more the books, like when Oz and Buffy fight a dinosaur or whatever.
That sounds fun. I'm not going to read that whole book, but that sounds fun.
But if it's like, I needed to read a comic book in order to understand what's going on in the show.
Yes.
Get fucked.
Yeah. That's the problem that Marvel's dealing with where you're like, oh yeah, you didn't watch WandaVision, so you don't know this thing when you watch the movie. It becomes tricky.
You have to watch Loki season 2 episode 7 in order to understand Brave New World, the Captain America movie. It's like, no, I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing homework. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm done with Marvel.
Yeah.
Endgame was my end game.
Yeah. But we're still going to stick around with Buffy stuff. We're going to definitely have these bonus episodes are going to be deep because we'll definitely revisit this episode after we figure out what happens in the finale. Yeah. And if you have something for Amazon wish list, let us know. We'll throw it on there if you're thinking of something for the boys.
Yeah.
And buy yourself something nice off of at another store too,
Yeah. Treat yourself. Yeah. And us.
Yeah. You just listen to a 3-hour podcast about your favorite show.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a wrap for End of Days. Stay tuned next time for the last episode of Buffy Chosen.
I just always thought that I would be there with you. For the end.
Hey.
Well, not that this is the end.
Thanks a lot.
No. By the end, I meant heroic and uplifting way. See, I'm still optimistic. You're just thrown off a little by this gritty-looking eye patch.
Seltzer Kings
Podcasts.